Good Top's
Ready in
creaming
3,
himself.
2, 1, go. Welcome everyone to the Culture Cast, and as you can see, we've got a full house today. Everyone, welcome back, Tubbs. First of all,
the king is back, bitches.
welcome Bruno, and also for the first time, guys, welcome Alan Alford. Jeez, I made a ball to that, but anyway,
Up in that cherry.
Doing well, Brian.
And hi everyone in the chat. See plenty of comments already. I'll just go through the chat quickly. Damien says, nice to have a full house just for fun since it's Star Wars. I give each of you a character challenge to read out a bio for us, the loyal viewer. The 4 characters chosen are Danik Jericho, 88, Yeast, and 21B Droid. Over to you to pick one of each of the 4 mentioned. Okay. Jonathan and Damien, evening all. Connor says hello. And just everybody saying hello. James says hey all as well. Okay, so the plan is we're going to start as usual with show and tell, and then we're going to chat about this week's What If episode for a bit, and then just an update on Galactus, and
Yes.
then we will go into the
That's the actual HasLab one as well behind him.
yeah, I got an early one.
You're just showing off now, Brian. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, thanks. Tim Bainbridge, first timer. Thanks for coming over, Tim. Tim was on Universal Collectors live stream there a while ago. Mick Holland says meow said the chicken, and Bruno finishes.
Troll.
Death by doggies or something.
Of course it is. Of course it's Death by Doggies. But I had to go, what does the fox say?
Okay, so this week's show and tell. Now I'm going to leave you till last, Alan, because I know what you have.
Yes.
So Tubbs, you have some DVDs, I presume. I think.
Well, I mean, this just plays into the crazy addiction that I have. I don't need any of these,
none of us needs any of this stuff. But anyway.
So here's the thing. At least give us a run through. Give us a fan out of. Let's see what you got.
Okay, I got Exiled.
Okay.
It's a foreign flick.
Okay. Showing his culture. I like it.
King Kong for 75 cents.
The one with Peter Jackson.
Wednesday, which has got like Frodo Baggins in it. Any of y'all seen this movie, Enemy? Jake Gyllenhaal plays himself twice.
I think so.
Still in the plastic.
Oh, you mentioned
A Lonely Place to Die. Still in the plastic. This one now, I actually really dig this fucking movie. I don't know if you've ever seen this. What Doesn't Kill You with Mark Ruffalo and Ethan Hawke.
Decent cast.
Yeah, it's a decent cast.
No,
then you got this one here is Lucy Liu, Rise, still in plastic.
Oh my God.
Pursuit. This is an Irish fucking movie. 2 of my mates that I started in a film with are actually in this. So
I remember them making that actually in Dublin. Yes.
Yeah, do you remember? And then Brian, this is Brian's favorite one. This is really close to Brian's heart. Oh, this is Resident Evil Afterlife.
Oh, it's his favorite.
You want to know a story, Brian, right? I bought
You do know I can kick you from the chat.
No, but I picked this up. Right?
Censorship.
But Bruno, I picked this one up here, right? And I was going, oh yeah, sure. I don't have that. I have 2 copies of it in DVD and I have it on Blu-ray.
Well, now you can start melting them.
And Selfless, The Departed, Jesus Christ.
Departed is brilliant.
City of Industry, Red Dragon, and this is a bloody fucking disgrace.
And so is that a weekend watching for you then?
Do you know what I can't turn the camera on, but you've probably seen it before on the other shows. They will probably never enter a DVD player. Like they'll probably just go on the shelf. Okay.
They will never leave the plastic
Oh yeah. And since the Star Wars Day, I got this little beauty here.
Oh yes, very nice, very very nice. Where is that from?
Look at her sexy sculpted behind.
Tubbs, you stole her from your daughter. Don't be lying to me.
Well, I actually bought them for my daughters and knew at some point that they would grow past actually playing with them, so they would eventually go to me anyway. So clever tactics. Brian.
Good old Disney Infinity.
Okay, so I'm going to go next because I know mine will pale in comparison to the other guys. So I bought this Miss Marvel figure. I have it already, but I'm collecting the Build-A-Figure parts for Venom Pool, and she comes with a big, massive torso, which I have somewhere out of reach.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was only a tenner in Smiths, so it would have been actually cheaper to buy her again rather than actually getting it shipped over from someone in the UK or whatever.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Other than that, I got Transformers Kingdom tracks. I've only transformed it once, and it's so difficult.
Is it?
Yeah,
Fuck.
and it's really
Okay.
loose in bot mode as well. I found.
Hey.
No, not that one.
I will say I've not heard a good thing about that tracks.
No, I'm not a fan.
No,
I rather
has anything nice to say about it at all.
the Generations one was better, I think.
Yeah.
But I haven't even tried to do the wings off underneath him yet.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm kind of putting that off at the moment.
Nah.
That's all for me at the weekend. I did yeah, we'll talk about the other stuff later. But Bruno.
Yeah, because you have another thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I got a bit of a haul. I got the fucking Ark. Like,
Okay.
this thing is beastie. Like, holy shit, it's beastie.
So cool.
It does transform, but to be honest, it just looks so much better as the actual Ark.
Lads.
That's really nice.
The one thing I
It
will
needs weathering though, man.
it does, and
It's
you know what? The other
way
thing,
too clean.
on camera, it looks so washed out, but in person, it really is not. I promise. Like, on camera, it looks like it's some kind of beige,
Kind of a
yellow.
saturated
Yeah,
orange.
it's like when you leave something out in the sun too long.
Yeah.
That kind
Looks
of thing.
faded. It actually does look
Faded,
faded.
that's the word.
Gingers.
But I can tell you, it's not. Like, it's crazy. So decent enough, pretty big. You can open it, and it does have as well, like the Teletran and things like that, and it does transform. But to be honest, I just wanted it as the Ark.
Is the Teletran? It's a separate bot, isn't it?
It is a separate box.
Teletran one is a separate piece.
Yeah.
It's a
I
pricey
also,
bit of equipment there now, it's man, yeah.
so you can get them for like 130, I think.
Yeah, 130.
So not cheap, but the reality is, if you've seen the new price for actually the next reveal, this guy, the Rodimus Prime, they're setting him at like £90. Bear in mind, this is
You're just swinging
£90.
your dick now, Bruno's all you're doing.
No. So I didn't pay £90 for this. I don't think this is worth £90.
Yeah.
They went
What did
up
you
after
pay?
a while.
I think this was 60. It was when I went on pre-order with Kapow.
It's pretty big figure as well.
Oh, I tell you what, I probably would have paid that.
Yeah,
90.
I would have too.
I can't. I really want Rodimus. I want him on my shelf. I've got Hot Rod. I've got loads of the 86 ones.
Yeah,
But knowing that the trailer is just going to sit in the box,
that's
I
the
can't
problem.
justify the price.
Yeah.
So I really
Yeah.
hope they do what they did with Prime and he gets a single release without his trailer.
The trailer is nice, but to be honest, you can't even. So with the Optimus trailer, you can open it up and you can actually have it as you can't do that with this guy, because the trailer is just no. You
It's
can't.
true what you said though, Alan. My Optimus trailer is just sitting in a box. I never use it for anything.
It is a box. So yeah, I got Rodimus. I had this guy, but I take forever to open some of my toys.
I'm the same.
What?
Yeah, so
Skelegod.
Skelegod. You know what, guys? I'm not a big fan of Mattel. I'm not. I will rant and rave about Hasbro over Mattel any day. But pegless joints. Sorry, Brian, I'm not getting pegged. And cloth cape. Actual cloth cape.
I like that.
Yeah.
Decent. Also, this is a big haul. This was a really big haul. I got a Trax as well. I've left him in bot mode. I was going to transform him because I really want to see a car with wings, mainly just because of Mask.
I followed a video on YouTube to transform him, and it still took me a half an hour.
Tell you what, that's a Transformers crossover they need to do. Transformers and Mask.
Oh yes,
Definitely.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
So that they actually transform into like the two modes that they were in Mask, but also transform into a robot. That'd be amazing.
That
Do
would
you
be
hear
insane.
as well that there's early talks at the moment flying around the interwebs about a live action Mask movie?
Oh,
They've been
I have
talking
heard
about that for a while, haven't they?
Cream my fucking pants if that happens. Yeah.
Every time he reads the news.
Oh, dude, man, like who doesn't want one of those fucking robot scooter fucking things your man had back in the day? Like, now he was swinging his fucking dick, Bruno.
They just need to do a switchblade. They need to do a switchblade. That's all I want. So I want another switchblade.
Yeah.
Anyway, got this guy exhaust as well. I had him on pre-order with Kapow, but was with the rest of the stuff, so it took forever for him to come, unfortunately. And got this fucker from Hasbro Pulse.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah. Ramjet.
Ramjet. That's
A
the
nice
one.
colour scheme as well.
It's shattered glass.
No. So, well, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not Shattered Glass.
Is it shattered glass? Or is it G2?
Was it G2? I think. Yeah.
G2. I don't know. I said G2.
Yeah, G2.
You know I know nothing about it,
original
Brian.
Transformers in weird colors.
Yeah. So I actually really like the color. I don't even know the character. I just really like the aesthetic. And I am getting some of the Shattered Glass figures as well. Those look awesome. And I do have one more, but I just realized I'm not even. I got Cliffhanger as well, but I think I'm gonna
Nice.
sell them. I need the space, and I can't count it as a whole. I'm getting rid of. So yeah.
So before we
me.
go into Alan, let's just go look at the chat for a sec. It's taking on a life of its own at the moment.
Yeah.
Tez is in the chat. Right, Tez, how are you? What? Mick, I said. Connor, Mick, blah, blah, blah. Jonathan says, Tubbs, did you find those DVDs in the bin?
Is that my brother?
No.
He knows.
Jonathan
He
Redmond,
knows.
he's from Dublin. He's always in the.
Oh yes, cool. No, John, I did not find them in the bin. I found them in the
Connor
CAX
said-
stock.
Connor said a job lot in the car boot. And Mick said Afterlife. Dear God. And Jonathan then said, I guess even charity shops have standards.
Oh, look at this! Look at the glory of it.
Oh, lads.
Oh, I missed that.
Damien said, anyone picked up the Emperor Throne Room set? Looks amazing.
Oh.
I haven't seen that. What's that from? Damien.
Is that
Track-
TV?
Would that be the Star Wars one?
Yeah, I'd say that's what they're on about. Yeah. Mick says Tracks is a floppy mess as well. Oh yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh, I can see.
Big Bang Comics are good for SDCC stuff. Jonathan says, Bruno, 100% agree. Alan, leader price was pushing it for Rodimus, but a commander prices Hasbro can get bent.
I'd have paid leader for Rodimus, but I definitely ain't paying commander for it.
No.
right.
Tez says, bring back alternators. Whoa. They were classical as well. I opted out against my post at against my PO at Ami for Rodimus for €115. I was like, nope, said Mick. Damien said Tom Selleck could be Miles Mayhem Tubbs. He's not too old yet.
Oh, man, put Tom Selleck in everything, man. You know what I mean? You remake He-Man, Tom Selleck. There you go.
That
John,
mustache is timeless. Like,
no, man, gotta keep the mustache. Even if he's got to play like fucking variations of all the childhood things we watched, you know. But he has to have the tash.
oh my god. Connor said Brian wants Willie O'D to play Miles Mayhem and Mask.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, if there's anyone that can get away with it, it's Willie O'D. He's basically a local politician here, and he's been
but
pictured with
fucking
guns
hell,
and
to be
everything. Like,
in his defense, spot on. Look at that. Look at that. You put a little hat. Yeah.
look at the
Look,
picture with the
crap.
gun. Like,
Oh, fucking Willie, huh?
Bloody hell.
I have met that guy so many times at parties. It's not funny.
What kind of parties are you going to?
Oh, cocaine.
My uncle fancies himself a bit of a like local politician, so he's always like inviting him.
Okay.
But so we have one more show and tell.
Yeah, this is a proper
Alan,
one.
take it away.
So recently decided that I was going to pick up the Maestro Hulk, and as soon as I had him in hand, I knew that I needed to make him a throne. So the last week or so, I've spent putting this bad boy together.
Wait, you made that throne?
I made this, so it's
Fucking
completely made out
class.
of foam. You can kind of see from the back, you know, it's kind of was pink at one point, it's not anymore. And then I've just kind of built up loads of different bits and pieces for him. And thanks to Brian, you mentioned the Eye of Agamotto, so I added that in earlier
nice.
today. Spider-Man, you know, head in the thing. We got the Loki's scepter on there. We've got a few other bits and pieces. I still need more trophies.
Yeah.
We've got
So
Stormbreaker in there somewhere as well. Thor's hammer.
so you
Yeah.
have Hawkeye's bow at the end
Oh.
there, and then you had
Whose
Hawkeye's
head's in
bow.
the glass thing?
Spider-Man's head.
Yeah.
That's a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's head in the glass. We've got Mjolnir.
Yeah. Oh my god.
We got like a Hulk's axe, and then we've got his gladiator helmet. He's holding an Iron Man helmet. Somewhere on here as well, we've got Black Widow stingers. They're at the
Oh,
front.
yeah, I
What's
can
the
see
stain on his other hand?
We've also got Red Wing, which I've stole off of the new Captain America figure because he won't stay attached to the figure. So I thought, why not stick him in a dio? Loki's scepter. We've got.
Is that Thanos' helmet as well?
Yeah, we got the Infinity Gauntlet, but also armored Thanos' helmet.
Nice.
And then I think
Cool.
that belonged to Gamora, but
That did.
Yeah.
it's definitely a Guardian's weapon. And yeah, so finished putting that together, finished painting it yesterday.
Where did you get the little casing for the Spider-Man head, man? That's awesome.
I don't actually know. I think I got it from one of my pals in a bundle of stuff. And originally it had an Ultron head in it.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the Ultron head has disappeared. So I must have sold that or given it away or something.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting there, and I had Vader's melted helmet in it. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, you know what? If you look at all the pictures of Maestro's throne, or like the collection of stuff that he ends up with, there is a Spider-Man mask in like this glass case.
It's kind of sitting on the edge of it or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I've got one of those, so let's do it.
A question for you, Alan.
Yeah.
You were saying that you built the throne yourself, yeah?
Yep.
So, like, because the day that's in it, can you build me a throne? Because the king is back, baby. You know, so I just think it's appropriate.
No.
Oh,
I'll make one that
classic
big.
Tubbs.
It'd be a
No,
lot
all
of fun.
jokes aside, though, that's a really good job, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking quality, to be fair. Like.
It really is quality. I mean, I didn't realize it was made. I just thought it was like a statue-based thing when I first saw it.
No, it's to say it's the Marvel Legends Maestro, and then I'll say I made it. It was one of the guys from the Marvel Legends group, or the Marvelous community group, let's be specific. He's got on his Instagram, he did a picture of one of his throne that he had Maestro sitting on. I was like, I have to do that. I have to make one for Maestro. He needs a throne. So yeah,
Like you could take a pretty like good figure and just fucking level it up to 100.
Yeah.
Like.
yeah. On his own, because even though it's a big figure, it doesn't come with anything other than a spare set of hands. So it's in terms of actually a figure release, it's quite boring. But you stick him on a throne and surround him with trophies, and suddenly he just becomes this epic figure. So I actually think it's now my favorite figure in my collection.
Just because of the display.
And it's because you
Just
made it
because
yourself
of the
as well.
display.
Yeah,
I can respect
absolutely.
that, man. I can definitely
It's
respect that.
taken a whole different level just because I've actually made something for him specifically.
Yeah, fucking class.
That's very nice, man.
Jonathan says that's pretty awesome, Ellen. And Mick says nice. And Damien says Maestro's cool. Got it, picked him up. And he said Star Wars vintage collection for the Emperor set he was talking about.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah.
Is that from like Jedi or something?
So I don't know if, yeah, it's this. If you guys, is this the one you're referring to?
Yeah.
Looks like it, yeah.
There is also another one which was, hold on. Doesn't matter. Anyway, there was another one.
Going in line with what Bruno showed off. Obviously, I also picked up the Masters of the Universe He-Man, but
I fucking
Nice.
want the He-Man.
I hated the way it looked out of the box, so I repainted it. And
Oh,
I've also replaced his hand so he can actually stand holding his sword aloft properly. Because one thing that annoys the hell out of me is you give somebody a sword holding hand and then give him a wrist that does that instead of a wrist.
Yeah.
You know, you want him arm straight up, sword in the air. You know, I've got the power.
There's Bruno's one there.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it's the difference in the angle of the sword.
I'd actually seen two people had Skeletor and He-Man, and they replaced the Revelations heads with Origins heads, and it actually didn't look too bad.
You showed me. Yeah, that looked decent. What do you think of the head? The head.
I
to me,
hate it. I hate it.
Look at can you? I don't know if you can. Hold on. If I do that.
Yeah, put your hand in front of it, behind it here.
It's
Like
the
that.
bloody perm, dudes.
It's.
I mean, it looks a bit better when it's not yellow,
Mm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
the face is terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
he kind of looks like he swallowed a bee.
Followed something. Yeah.
Oh.
Ayo.
John or Damien says yes, the box falls out, and Jonathan Redmond says the box from that throne set opens up to display the whole throne room.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That's
okay.
kind of cool.
That is cool.
Actually, wait a minute. I don't know, getting stuff. I actually like bought Brian's entire like McFarlane collection, if that counts as something.
Oh, I mean it's McFarlane though. No, I'm joking.
Dude, we gotta get it.
It's also DC,
it
like
almost
so.
counts.
Marvel properties and stuff, but I'm a DC fucking fan here, man. I'm a DC nut.
Ah,
You give me fucking 72 Batmans, I'll jerk off to each one of them. It's all good.
I've got a
Next time at the
Arkham
hospital in the
Origins
X-ray machine, a
Deathstroke,
little
if you want it.
Batman up there.
What'd you say, Alan?
I've got an Arkham Origins Deathstroke if you want it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I've had some of those McFarlane ones, and I'm trying to get rid of them all.
Oh,
think
we
I've
should
got-
have a
Seems to be a
conversation
pattern
in the world, my
emerging
friend.
here.
I've got Origins Deathstroke, and I think I've got Arkham Asylum Joker still.
think
I have Joker. I have
Joker.
two versions of Joker. So the Deathstroke.
We'll,
Hit me in my DM
we
later.
will talk.
Throw me a DM later, hon. It's all good.
Jonathan said, Tubbs, at least it wasn't a collection of subpar 7 figures.
Oh,
they're Super 7s.
Yeah.
Oh, straight away.
Thankfully, we don't have to talk about Super 7 this week, as far
Well,
as I know. I
did you
didn't
not
go
see the
looking.
Did you not see the new reveal? No, I'm fucking.
I didn't.
No,
Sorry.
there are no new reveals.
So, yeah. Okay, so I know this is kind of related. So, Galactus, it's finished tonight, is it? Or is it tomorrow night?
It's 31st, isn't it?
So
31st.
tomorrow.
What was the final? Like, what was the number they hit?
It's not
Yeah.
over. It's
It's still
Last
going,
I saw it was at 2021, I think it was, or near 21.
so the
Yeah.
last tier is 22,000, and with that you get a Doctor Doom head for the Galactus.
Oh,
I think it's pretty fucking cool, to be honest.
Don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but you then kind of want Galactus to be green to make him look like Doom properly.
now,
Yeah, from
question.
Secret Wars. That's what I was thinking of straight away.
How much do you have to pledge to get that extra hit?
No, that doesn't matter. It's
You just
more.
pay
It's
for
more
the
to
It's
do.
a
figure.
bonus.
You buy
Once you
your
pay
you buy
the
your
overall-
one. It's to do with how many they sell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
once
okay.
they've got 22,000 people that have paid for it, then you get all of these extra things. You've got like that, and I'm rubbish with the names. So obviously you've got the Surfer,
Yeah.
you've got the fire chick,
Nova.
Nova, that's
Nova.
her.
And
There's that.
Morg.
Yeah, that one's been revealed as well. That looks pretty badass, to be fair.
So, like anyone that's been
looks good.
watching this show since this was revealed, I was like, one week I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and next week I was like,
I'm not going to buy it.
Are you not? Are you not, Alan?
so. A lot of you may have seen this up there the last couple of
Oh.
weeks, and Saturday, as I was still thinking about it, I heard this massive fucking crash in the sitting room. I literally leapt off the chair. I was like, what the fuck? Because I'm used to things, little things falling in here. And I think it's because of the heat or something. This Galactus has been up there for a solid 4 years now, I'd say.
He's been on every show.
Yeah. I went in and it was on the floor, and the whole shelf up there was on the floor, bar the central. I was like, that's a fucking sign.
Is
Yeah,
that
you
not
need to
every
do it.
collector's worst fear, though, when they walk into their collection room and everything's all over the floor? You're just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I have to
yeah,
spend
kind of
another
walked
half
into
day
the room like
curating
this,
it.
sideways into the room.
Yeah.
But like, it still works.
I mean, Brian was telling me, like, he was like, man, now I'm like, I'm after doing it. I was like, what did you do? And then he sent me the message, and I was like, oh my god. And
Yeah.
there's me going, like, are you seriously after telling me what? And then there's coming from the man that has a 32-inch fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin in his fucking room. But no,
Why the fuck? Why do you have a 32-inch stone? Oh my! Tubs.
No, I didn't buy it.
The question is, why wouldn't
my
you?
daughter saw it in
Why
like
wouldn't you?
or something. Big ass fucking thing, like this fucking big man. Fucking posable the whole lot, and it's sitting up there in my room now. Big fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Watching you,
32
judging
inch
you.
figure.
Yeah, so he's literally just watching you sleep.
Oh man, and with pride, because I'm going, yeah, step out of line, that motherfucker.
See,
Well,
Tubbs-
my question is though, how many times have you woken up, saw it, and gone?
I took photo. I'm not even joking. Do you know the way you take photographs? Like they're like the size of this thing here. It's like, oh, you get right up here. I have a photograph of me squaring off with the thing, and it literally, I'm not even joking. It's like side by side. It looks like a real size person. It's crazy.
I bet
Now-
you Tubbs is up in the room there some days, and next thing he hears, what?
And I come in and get stunned
One beer,
for my
two
fucking
beer.
bad behavior.
It's when you're not expecting it and you hear the breaking glass. You're like, oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
man,
my
I want
biggest
that to be the
nightmare.
anthem of anyone walking in a door or something, like just glass shattering. But I live in Whereas, so could
Just in the
happen.
comments, Mick says, anyone see NECA's reveal of TMNT Party Wagon? I actually haven't seen that.
No.
I didn't see the reveal. I saw some prototype images, and it does look pretty decent. I've got to say.
Yeah.
Tim Bambridge says Galactus is probably begging for a dust. Yeah, I gave it a massive dust, and when it got down, there was like things. No, there wasn't things crawling out of him. It was actually very dusty. But,
I don't want to know what crawled out of that.
no,
Brian.
nothing did. It was a bad time joke. But yeah, he got a good wiping down. The whole shelf probably needs at this stage. Damien says first Modoc was possessed, now it's Galactus. Time you would have hung up a large wooden cross inside your home, Brian. Yeah, hang it upside down maybe.
Is that what got you to buy Modoc? That the other one did a nosedive.
I didn't even have the other one. What was my story about that? I can't even remember. But anyway, that was another one I was like, half and half about buying.
maybe you need to balance out the shelf, like when you get the new one and have like Galactus
The
on
new
one
one
side,
is
the second
not going up that high.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
Either sits on a solid bench on the floor,
Or just on the floor.
it goes in a glass case and never comes out.
Yeah.
Guys, he's for carpooling, obviously. So he's sitting in the front seat. And
just go on in the car with you, like.
the missus be like, get into the back. Galactus is right on top now.
You should get a baby seat for him. Just put him in a baby seat.
I will say the one thing that's I'm slightly disappointed about is that it doesn't do noises and stuff like that one. That would have been a fairly easy thing to add.
Really, for the price?
It's got the light up,
fucking
so isn't
and
it?
stuff like.
Yeah,
it
it
has
lights
the
up. But like that one like has 5 or 6 different sayings. I thought it would have that as well.
I think you might just have to make the
Kiss it.
noises yourself, Brian. It's like every time you just press the button, nothing happens, and then you go, "Oh, I'm gonna
I
come to you."
hunger.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to do it
Come
yourself.
to eat your planet.
Yeah.
Make it a giant sandwich or something. But yeah, so you're not getting it, Alan, you?
You're not getting it. How come? Like, so what's the reason? Like, you don't want a Galactus, or you have a Galactus, or it's like
I have literally no interest in anything comic other than Spider-Man and that particular Hulk, just because I thought it was cool.
That's
No,
right.
That's me. I'm like that with the Batman stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I get that.
because I collect more than one line, I have to be quite. I'm not mega rich, unfortunately. I wish I was. So I have to be quite picky with what I collect. So obviously with the Black Series and the stuff that's over there, I'm trying to focus that on just on Clone Wars now, because I was getting everything, like anything original trilogy, anything Mando, anything Clone Wars, and it was getting ridiculous. Same with the Legends. I was basically I had to stick to MCU. But again, I got to a point where I was trying to get every MCU one. I'm like, but half the characters I just don't care about. So I skimmed it all, like cut it all right back, and now I just get my favorite characters. And in all truth, Galactus has never been one of them.
You kind of get caught up in it though, don't you? Certain properties, like you're just like, I need it all, and then you're afterwards like,
do I need it? Do I want it?
could I survive without that? Probably.
I think the point it kind of got out of hand for me was like you're sitting there and I'm looking at my shelf and you've got like something random like Wasp. I'm like, those films were cool, but nothing spectacular. And she's sitting there just because she had a tiny cameo in Endgame. And I'm like, why do I need that figure? No, I don't really need that figure. And then you get like into the things like, I had Trevor And I still to this day think Trevor is one of the funniest, but also most ridiculously pointless parts of the MCU. And I'm looking at him on my shelf going, I really don't need Trevor on my shelf. Yeah, I cut it all way back, and I collect Spider-Man like villains and some of the Spider-Man figures. But yeah, I almost went in and got the Fantastic Four when they did the Black Suit re-release. Because obviously the Walmart ones were impossible to get, and I would never pay that kind of money for them, to be fair.
What's your favorite Spider-Man costume?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'm all about the classic. I do love the classic red and blue, but when the PS4 suit came out, the advanced PS4 suit, something about like the massive white spider on the torso, yeah, that bad boy. You know, he sits up here, pride of place. Hang on,
That's a cracking figure, man.
try and get him off the shelf without knocking everyone off. You know, but also
badass, yeah.
I love it so much that I got a custom base
wicked,
for him
man.
with the logo on it, and it's
Nice.
just something about the suit and the way that the white, especially the white light on the arms as well.
Yeah.
It really elevates it beyond anything else. But my favorite Spider-Man is Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider.
Fucking love
I
you.
knew it.
Yes, Scarlet Spider, my favorite Spider-Man. Yeah.
The blue hoodie,
Yeah.
all of that. I
Yeah.
have had the figure so many times, but I've sold it so many times as well because
I can't seem to find a decent one anywhere.
But I'm so hoping that we get a retro, that they do us a new one, a new body version, like they've done with the 2099, and they redo it. Because the one thing I've always said about the Scarlet Spider that they've always released, he has really weird flat feet.
Yeah.
And when you put him in a proper spider pose, it just looks weird. So that's the one I really want them to do a retro release or do a re-release of that one, and I'd be getting that in a heartbeat.
I love I'm not the only one that goes for Ben Reilly.
Even with Hasbro's ridiculous new pricing scheme, I'd still pay for it.
I mean, if it's a favorite character, yeah, fair play. I mean, would you only do Legends though? Would you consider Mafex figure art or not?
I've looked into it. I nearly got the I think it's the SHF advanced suit one.
Yep.
And I was going to pre-order it, and I got to the point where I'd ummed and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it, and it was sold out everywhere. And then on the secondary market, I am not paying those prices. It's ridiculous.
70 quid?
Yeah.
This is the figure. This is actually the SHF one.
Yeah.
It's not it's not bad, but I hate that it doesn't have any bicep swivel. So
that's what. Yeah. To be fair, one of the key things I've got. If you look at the pose I've got him in, I need the bicep swivel to get him to do that.
Yep. It's honestly ridiculous that you do.
This I think, to be honest, you know, whilst they're not necessarily the most accurate, and I think with this particular suit, they skimped out because they just painted it rather than sculpted the deco.
Yeah.
But for the price and for the articulation, you're going to struggle to find a better one in that price point.
I know Legends is really good in that when it comes to that. It is really, really good. I mean,
and I'm cheap, so it's fine.
I mean, no, but it's not like for 20
more
quid
is less and less is more.
For 25 quid, Legends do the trick really well. Like, holy fuck, growing up, we all had those toys where it's like 5 points of articulation. And it's like, yeah,
Super
we love
Sevens.
them. Yeah, the Super Sevens, right? And they were great, but you know, once you kind of see like Legends and even like some of the Mattel stuff that they were doing, you're like, yeah, you know, having a Spider-Man with more articulation, a Legend isn't bad. That is not bad for what you pay as well.
No, I still say, I mean, even with the new classic Spider-Man that they did with the retros, they still haven't nailed it in the sense that you can get Spider-Man who can put his foot behind his head. That's the ultimate goal for Legends, to be able to get Spider-Man. You can actually put his leg up here.
Yeah, like McFarlane pose kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
but not McFarlane though.
Like,
yeah, you know, that kind of thing.
There you go.
To be able to get your leg, you know, properly up so you can have it like in a proper comic pose. That's the goal, isn't it?
But just read some of the comments there. We've actually 10 people in the chat, guys. So hello everybody. Cool. Damien says, can you imagine having to pick up Galactus from the post office and take him home on the bus? I mean, how big will the box be? Well, luckily we have DPD here. We'll drop it right to my door.
I'll say though, I still don't think the box will be as big as when they released Unicron.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, did you
that
see
was-
the size of that?
Unicron was
Huge.
huge.
I don't think that
size.
would fit in my front door. I'd have to take it around the back or something and put it in the window.
Would it fit in your car? That's the better question.
Put down the back seats, probably.
You'd have to put
yeah.
in,
If you've
like,
got an
I would have to
estate
put down the back
property.
seats, and even then I think I'd struggle.
Yeah, that's a big boy. But again, from what I've heard, he's so fragile.
Yeah, I watched Artemis Prime's review, and it just looked. I was like, that's a lot of money, and I don't want to be playing with that. It's like a hot toy or whatever, same thing.
Yeah, I can't remember which review it was. I think it was like a live stream type thing that I saw. Yeah, that's the lad.
Like,
And
look at the size
somebody
of
was
this guy.
transforming it.
He's
And he
unreal.
broke off one of those back pieces, like
Yeah. That was
the
Shonimus.
wings.
That was Artemis, yeah.
Yeah, he broke one.
It was the way that the pieces came apart. He's like, he just looked at the two pieces in his hands, like, wasn't supposed to do that. And having spent what was it, 350 quid?
With the bones of 400 quid, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to then break it straight out of the box, it'd be devastating. Look, there you go. Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah.
Fucking
There you go. Here's somebody actually
Wow,
packaging and
like-
picking.
I mean, she may be an average size or a very small woman, but still, that box is massive.
That box would be perfect for Metal Gear Solid cosplay. You take that, you just hide in it, it's done.
If a Metal Gear Rex now came in that size, I'd be half tempted.
My god.
Can you imagine getting? Oh, I'll tell you what. If they started doing Metal Gear, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah,
Hasbro.
me too.
Yeah.
Hasbro.
If any of them
I
did
mean-
it like to a good scale, to a good level where they're not ones that you're gonna, take it out of the box, turn the leg, and the leg comes off in your hand.
Yeah. It's quality.
I mean,
Yeah.
Brian knows that like I've this. My goal in my life, like in my collecting life, is to like get all of the Batman, the
Animated
90s
series,
animated cartoon figures.
Oh, those are lovely though. As
You know,
well.
but the prices people are charging fucking ridiculous money from at the moment
Crazy
because
money.
they don't make them. But now I was reading that they're apparently the older company,
It's
the
coming
IP,
back.
are re-releasing them.
Oh,
So
from,
I'm going
from the scratch.
Fuck me, I'm going to buy every one of them.
Are you,
Oh.
so Tubbs, would you consider getting a Mafex Batman? Or
Oh
not?
fuck yeah!
Like
But
they
the
are,
only thing is,
they
but I
are
have
doing
like
them.
3 kids, so I have to like as I have to be like, selective on what I buy.
just let them like play like buy a 5-point articulation animated one for them. Be like, there you go, it's the same thing now. Oh.
Tubbs.
What do you think I'm holding on to all these bad boys? They don't make these shits no more, man. They'll sell for hotcakes in a few more years.
Connor said in the chat, he goes, I'm not getting any HasLab because my kids have to eat.
That's my fucking problem, man.
See, guys, this is
no.
where you're going wrong.
That's
I
not
don't
fair.
have any children. So
Or
And
you
look
just
at your
eat your
fucking
kids.
wall.
You just eat your
That's the
kids.
thing.
It's fine.
There is a reason why I don't have shelves like Brian's. It's because I have to keep selling my stuff to buy new stuff.
Well,
Because
to be-
otherwise, my wife will kill me.
to be fair, if I'm not going to lie, right, to afford Galactus, and Tubbs knows this, I told him this last night, and I told Bruno,
We had a
I did
lengthy
sell my
conversation.
I did sell my Nintendo Switch this morning, and I sold one of my Rare Storm Collectibles figures as well
At a decent price,
last
to be
night.
fair.
At a good price as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a new one coming out in a couple of months anyway, so I'll probably look
Yeah.
came out for that anyway. So yeah, I'm not I have to sell stuff too, like. Jonathan said, or sorry, Tim Bamber said, any of you lads getting the Razor Crest? I believe you are, Bruno.
Yeah, I ordered it the morning I was going to go out. So it was one of those. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to order it. It's going to be fine. Even if I don't like it, I can sell it on. And then the
This is
fucking
the
ship
thing,
got
yeah.
blown up. It's like, fucking dicks.
I laughed so hard when that happened. It's like it ended like the Monday or something.
Yeah.
And like the literal next episode of The Mandalorian, they
Dead.
blew it up like.
I literally just nearly spat my drink on the screen.
Yeah. So
I was
I
like,
will say though, did you not
suckers.
see them straight after like they had the HasLab like the painted versions, they started showing off the painted versions. I think it was then the next day that they blew it up in the show. And then
That's-
all over like the thing was like just basically I think it actually was Hasbro as well. It's like all you people that want have backed the HasLab, and then they just had one of them in pieces. And it was just a picture of it in pieces all over the floor. And I'm like, how many people are now royally pissed off that they've just backed this thing and they blew the hell blew it to smithereens.
But in saying that though, it looks incredible. That
Does.
shape, like it's so
I
cool.
will say though, how long before they change the name of that? So it's no longer the Razor Crest, it's just Mando.
crest.
Oh, some Slave One
Ooh.
shade.
It'll always be Slave One to me.
But
But
the funny thing is, in the whole of the original trilogy, they don't ever call it Slave One. We just know it.
where
as
did
Slave
that name come out of originally?
I think
The
it's
toys.
Was it actually the toys?
I thought the toys like were the first ones to actually have the name.
Probably
That's
was.
where that like
But-
merchandise. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
because like I was trying to think. I watched Empire only a couple of weeks ago, and when Boba Fett turns up, there's no mention of Slave One.
No.
Like,
Nothing.
I think the
By the
only
way,
ship.
that's Razor Crest.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's bad. It does look cool. I've got to say, if they did that in
Mm.
6 inch, I'd probably be very tempted.
Yeah, but in 6
how much was it in? Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, it'd be huge.
Bigger than
I need
Unicron.
a new house.
Oh man, that's my biggest problem at the moment. I have no room for none of my shit. Like,
Fuck you,
That's-
Tubbs.
that-
You've
that's
two
ev-
stories. I've only one small little shed of it.
yeah, but I got fucking 3 kids that take up every inch of my house. Man, you know?
Well, that's your problem.
So now I just gotta like, because Brian calls me like the inbox wanker because I like literally keep all my shit in the boxes. But
Because
it's
because
you're
kinda
whatever you
a
want to
wanker.
do with your figures is up to you.
Gotcha.
I'm only riffing on you.
Yeah.
But
So you don't
I-
open
I-
any toys.
I can't abide by the inbox shit. What is the
No,
point of buying
it
the
is
toy
literally,
you can't ever
it is
use?
literally, Alan, because I have no room to display them. So
That's
they just
fine.
get,
I'll give you that
they
one.
get
I'll let
stuck
you
there.
off.
They will
Yeah.
at some point be taken out for photo shoots and you know,
stuff
like
like that.
romantic walks on the beach. And
yeah, but like Tubbs. See, the problem with Tubbs is you take the figures out for photo shoots and then just take pictures of himself.
look, I got like, the peeps want to see this face, man. It's the money maker.
We want
This
to
is-
see the king.
this is the socials.
Be like this,
Okay,
like,
so Jonathan said it was named Slave One in the movie novelization from back in the day, so it was in the original screenplay.
Oh,
There you go.
interesting.
The
Okay.
more you know.
Okay,
again, I still don't, even now, with how long we've been since, slavery was a thing, why is it suddenly now that it's an issue that it's called slave one?
It's the woke generation's fault.
Oh god. Oh,
Don't start. Tubbs.
Oh no! Run away! Run away, Tubbs!
I've started now.
oh,
Let's move
we
on,
could do an
let's move on.
entire show. We should do an entire show on just this topic. My fucking god,
When-
I want to punch these fucking.
When I
cunts in their
start this live
faces.
stream,
Tubbs has got an interesting shade of red.
Oh, damn, man.
when
I
I
get
start
so
this live
fucking
stream, I
annoyed
wanted
over it,
to
man.
do that, like, but I was like, no, I've kind of pulled back from the.
It's like it's like the
Definitely.
world evolved so far and then just took a shit and reverted backwards. It's fucking crazy.
No, but see, it's been going like that all along. But just now, Twitter has given those kind of people a voice, and they're
You
just
can
taking
say
it
it,
to the
complete
extreme.
another fucktards.
Where were we? Tim says Unicron is £2,000+ now to buy.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
why I want to Galactus.
Yeah, that's why I bought 2. Fuck that.
Jeez,
I'm
you
gonna
can
sell
mortgage your house to Galactus in 10 years.
No, sold my daughter. Well worth it.
Wow.
No, I love it. No, oh my god, I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Jesus
Nick
Christ, that's
Nolan
mental.
says you could bludgeon a baby with that Unicron. Wow.
But
Make
then
you
what
vanishes.
are you going to sell though?
Yeah, that's true. And
with added simulated blood.
Oh my god.
Tim says great investment
There.
pieces. Imagine,
Yeah,
imagine
maybe
shipping
they
them
are.
though.
I get to a point, people that buy these things just because they know that in in 10 years' time, they're going to be worth a fortune. But that's only if you don't take them out of the box.
Mm.
Yeah.
But like, I think though it depends. Like, 'cause if it, outside of HasLabs, even some of the Marvel Legends nowadays, like it's the way the market is moving so different. Like that Silver Surfer, the Walgreens one, that's something like 80 to 100 euros
That's
or
ridiculous.
more on eBay. Like at the moment.
It does have a fuck ton of hands and it does have accessories as well. So
I
that,
had it.
and you sold it.
Yeah, I
Done.
had to find 60 quid I got for it, so it wasn't too bad.
It was super hard to get over here in the UK. Like not many people managed to get it. It was
But like
ridiculous.
a lot of these things, I got it from one of the UK retailers.
I got it from Forbidden Planet, but
Yeah.
I was lucky because it was the only place that I managed to get it from. Because I looked on Kapow, Star Action, and I couldn't find. Really couldn't find. So
It's one of
Oh
the
my
things.
God.
Again, it's probably a conversation for another one of these, but it's like the pre-order culture now that we are in. If you don't pre-order it, you don't get it unless you're willing to pay the secondary prices.
that's
You
true.
know, but having said that, with all of these re-releases or new package releases, some of the really expensive ones, you know, even Hasbro, I think they mentioned it on one of their live streams recently, that there's a lot of things that are planned because there's so many on the secondary market that are being scalped. You know, you look at Rogue, you know, the original Juggernaut Wave Rogue was going for 90, 100, you know, even 120 quid. So they then released a better one with a nicer face and extra accessories.
And now
that one
that
now
went.
goes for like 80 quid. But the original one, I've seen people that are struggling to flog it for 25.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
For the original one?
crazy.
The original one, because it's, you know, with the derpy face, you know, with one eye there and one eye there.
Yeah, I know.
Clash of the Dorks.
But it was the only Rogue we got.
Oh damn, £65.
Mick Holland
Yeah.
says Tubbs plus walk equals angry face, angry face, angry face. And Damien said Tubbs, you'd make an ace Red Hulk. And Ringy said
Thanks, buddy.
Tubbs,
It's the lighting, though. That's what's going on here.
Tubbs
You know?
are.
But the
Ringy
white t-shirt
said-
is fine, Tubbs.
Ringy said he's with you anyway. So
Okay.
you've got one. Jonathan said the prices for the sale barge jumped up by a factor of 4 in the space of 6 months. Never mind 10 years. And with these HasLabs, buy 3, sell 2. The profits will pay for the one you keep outright and leave you with a nest egg for the next HasLab.
There you go.
That is true.
That's actually not bad business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Damn it, I should buy another 2. I was like,
yeah,
I think you might need to sell an organ for that, Brian.
kidneys.
Yeah.
You don't need them.
well, could I empty a lot of these shells? Nah, no.
Although, to be fair, if you got 3, you could then display them with each with the different heads.
Yeah.
Although you need
Nah,
4,
just
there's
sell
4
two.
heads now, isn't there?
What is it? 4
There's
heads?
three face plates and 1 different head.
Oh, sorry, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got-
you have
you
angry
get
face
the-
place, normal one. Oh yeah,
Normal,
yeah.
the skull,
Yeah,
and
the
then
zombie
2.
one.
Okay.
Universal Collector. Hi, Brian, the guys in chat. Hi, Matt. How's it going, dude? Good to have you here. Okay,
Hey.
so, guys, let's go into Star Wars chat.
Okay, wait.
We're kind of already here anyway, so.
Before we go into Star Wars chat, just very quickly, who likes Indiana Jones or Superman?
I love them all.
yeah,
Tubbs
who-
is the
okay.
flag
Yes.
bearer for Superman.
So here's a test. Tubbs, can you hum Superman theme tune?
Oh, we did
Now,
this.
see,
a
this is
couple
the
of-
thing.
We did this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
This is gonna fuck
No,
you up.
No, this always.
Oh,
fucks me
yeah,
up.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, do you know why? Do you know why? Every time I start to hum Superman, I end up in Star Wars, and it's vice versa.
Yes, that's the fucking thing.
Yep. Thank you, John Williams.
Yeah, it all bleeds into itself.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, Alan
What?
Alpha just did some spanking.
Actually, funny story about like how music bleeds into something, right? I
Now
brought
do,
the kids
now
like,
do Indiana, though.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh.
dun, dun,
Oh.
dun, dun, dun,
yes,
dun,
he's
dun,
got,
dun,
he's got it down.
Yeah.
And
Now Star Wars.
Oh, baby, don't you
dun,
know?
dun, 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 dun,
Is that
dun,
it?
dun.
No, that's not it.
not the Imperial
You
mode.
cheated.
Because that's the only one that I believe is Star Wars. That's my Star Wars theme tune.
Oh no. Go on, Tubbs. Go on. You're saying something, mate.
Oh no, I was saying about music bleeding into stuff. Is I bought the kids the Lego, the Lego games, the new ones. They have like all the soundtracks and the voices and stuff. But
Yeah.
I bought them. It was Lego Marvel superheroes.
Yes.
I was loading it up on the PS5, and you know the screen, you know, it has the music.
Humble
plays in the
brag.
background.
Yeah. Humble brag, right?
No,
Three kids and a PS5.
But no, I was there. and
Used to
I
be
was
4
doing a
kids.
few- doing a few bits around and stuff. And the screen was up there and it was loading away, and it's Marvel Lego superheroes, and I can hear a fucking song in the background, right? Instead of Marvel, it's like. And I was going, that's fucking Batman.
Yeah.
But it's on the
It's a
fucking
Marvel
game.
one.
The Batman music is playing on the Lego Marvel fucking game.
Oh shit.
And I
I'll
was
tell
like,
you what, if
should
Batman
be
makes a
fucking
cameo, I might go and buy it.
and I'm wondering to myself now, right? Did one of the Lego Batman games? Did the
Probably
I don't know.
use some of the same engine or something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe is that what it is, and I got mixed up. But I was walking past, fucking saw it. Funny
Batman
shit,
is just
man.
Moon Knight in a sad day, but anyway.
You
With
need to
the
recall
Lego
that.
ones, though, they could put them all in one game if they wanted to, because it's
Dude,
all under one.
Like if you play them,
Yeah.
Like they're releasing the Skywalker saga, and it's the Lego versions, like, but it's all 9 films. Those games are like fully voiced now and soundtracks to all that.
What do you mean all 9? There's only 6.
Oh.
Well, technically there's 8, right? Is there 8, 9, 10?
Oh.
Fuck at this point.
Can we not talk about The Last Jedi then?
No.
But
Okay.
yeah. So we're gonna get into it anyway.
So guys, what I'm gonna do now, I told you all off air, but I'm gonna tell everybody in the comments, and I want you guys to answer in the comments as well. So I have a load of questions here, Star Wars related, and I'm gonna go around the room and ask everyone what their answers are. Obviously, there's no right or wrong answers, just opinions. Some opinions can be out there.
Yeah, but you know how this works, right? If your opinion doesn't match mine, you're wrong.
Exactly. Well, that's the internet, folks. That's Twitter.
That's what's known as gatekeeping, but yes, it's fine.
Yes.
You're so woke, Alan.
Nobody likes gatekeeping.
I don't even know what that means. I'm so
Okay,
old.
so what way will I do this? Okay, who did I introduce first? It was Tubbs. Okay, Tubbs. Question to you first. What does Star Wars mean to you?
What?
You're allergic to it?
No, I had just it's oh god, it just makes me sneeze. What does it mean to me?
So what does Star Wars mean to you?
Star Wars means it means childhood to me, man. Genuinely does, because I used to remember, like, do you know, like when you're growing up, like you watch Christmas movies, we used to fucking watch Star Wars. Like it was always a Christmas movie, man. That was a memory. It's part of our Christmas. It was part of just, you know, fucking just friendships, man. Kids joining together, watching the same shit. You know, like
Boxing Day.
Being a super nerd before it was cool.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
Empire Strikes Back, hands down.
classic.
Fucking love it. But yeah, childhood, man. That's what it means to me.
Bruno, same question.
Honestly, I'm with Tubbs. It's about the nostalgia. It's about, you know, being around family when you're a kid and you're like, Jesus, adult conversation is boring as fuck. What's on TV? It's Star Wars. I don't care about anything else. I'm just gonna watch this.
Let's go watch the Wizards with Swords.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's perfect. And you know what? Going into it a bit into the older side, it's about Legos. It's about building connections. Like one of my first jobs in, like, from a professional career perspective, my boss was a massive, like, Lego Star Wars nerd.
I thought you were going to say something else there, but anyway, keep going.
No, he wasn't. And honestly, it was about building up connections, meeting new people, man. So yeah.
Alan?
To be honest, same answer. It's about my childhood. Grew up with Star Wars, you know. Again, like Tubb was saying, you know, Christmas for me, my favorite Christmas movie was Empire Strikes Back, because every year, and I always remember it very vividly, that around Christmas time, normally around Boxing Day, on what was known as Channel 3 then, it's obviously ITV now, you know, Empire Strikes Back would be on.
Yeah.
And we would sit as a family and watch it. My sisters hated it because it's like, oh, this is boring. It's like, what's boring about spaceships and explosions and like things that shouldn't actually be able to walk but actually walk?
Yeah. Like for me, before I enter the comments below, yeah, same. Like it's family, it's Christmas. Like one of my earliest memories was going to the cinema with my dad to see, you know, when they were re-releasing the cinemas in the early 90s.
Yes.
See Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi. That continued then when the sequel trilogy came out. Went to see, like, I was older, but I still went myself. My dad went to see it, and then when the newer films came out, myself and now my brother and my dad all together went to see The Force Awakens. Yeah. So it became a tradition. So it's tradition. Really,
so it was the same way with the kids. I agree with you completely, because like me and my brother would have, you know, grown up with the movies, and then when the newer trilogy came out, we brought our kids to see them as well. So it's all about it. That's what it always harpers back to, man. About connection, family.
Over here, I don't think you guys would have had. No, but Tubbs, you might remember there was a milk company here, right? That if you collected the tokens with the milk cartons,
I remember.
you could like get like if you had 8 tokens, you go into and exchange it in a shop in town for the earliest
you know
Star Wars figures.
I
that
thought
I
you were
still-
going to tell me there was a milk company that made the blue milk then.
But do you
That
know?
even died,
I think I've
John.
told you, Brian, that
Huh?
Brian knows this about me. Like you saw the mountain of DVDs that I have no need for, that I bought regardless.
No need for it.
I have still refused to throw out the majority of my VHS tapes. So
I like
I
the
still
way
have
this
the
is
original, like New Hope, Empire, and Jedi before they re-released them
Me too.
in
I
VHS.
still have VHS where Jabba the Hutt is human.
Wow.
Yes.
Wait, what?
That's
Wait.
how old I am.
Wait, Jabba the Hutt's as a human. Like this is a Mandela effect. I do not remember this. Like what?
So in the original, before they did any of the remasters or anything else, or before
Yeah.
they'd even decided that they were doing Empire or anything else, Jabba the Hutt was played by a rather large fat guy,
Fucking
but
hell.
he was human. And
Yeah, and then when they
see the
re-released
remastered,
it, that actor
there's that
was
whole thing.
CGI'd.
yeah, they actually CGI. There you go. That's Jabba.
Yeah.
And then they because obviously in there Han walks around him.
Mm.
They then CGI that when he walks around him, Jabba then goes
Yeah, because he's supposed to walk on his tail.
But yeah,
Fuck.
originally Jabba the Hutt was a human.
I genuinely do not remember that.
But see,
That's
but
what
I mean,
made
like, they've been remastered so many times, you would
Yeah.
genuinely forget that.
The funny thing is though, but you look at that picture that's there to the left of the ugly woman, and you look at how bad the CGI is there, and now
Yeah.
you go and watch it. You go and watch it now, and you look at how good the CGI is of Jabba now.
That was the first attempt in the 90s.
Yeah,
one,
look at
I
that.
think, wasn't it?
Look at the updates. They made so many changes to him.
But that still looks unnatural.
Like
It
John,
does. It still doesn't look
Jonathan
great.
said, Jabba was a fat lad in a furry jet vest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. That's what I mean. So, but I've still got that on VHS somewhere.
Yeah, same one. Yeah.
I'm genuinely shocked because I always remember. I suppose it was Return of the Jedi, but Jabba was like this.
Yeah,
yeah.
was that scene originally cut out with the first one at one point?
No, it was the actual
second
scene where
one.
he runs
Yeah,
into
first one.
Jabba was always there. But like I said, they hadn't actually worked out, or they hadn't done Return of the Jedi at that point. As in, they knew what the ultimate story was,
Mm.
but it wasn't until they started writing Return of the Jedi that they turned him into the lizard thing.
I genuinely did not know that.
There you go. Every day's a school day.
Yeah, man.
hell.
Old school cinema, baby.
So before I move on to the next question, let's get the answers from the guys in the comments. Connor Fuller says, Star Wars means to me as a child learning that good will win over evil. Luke Skywalker was my hero. I honestly think my adult moral compass comes from Star Wars. That's pretty cool. I like that. Damien says, pure escapism. And to be honest, along with the 007 films, they are the film I go to relax. Sorry, but I do not hate any of them. My favorite is Return of the Jedi, always will be. And Boogie Bop,
Solid choice.
Tubbs best
Hey,
mate.
Phil's on it.
Star Wars, Christmas, and sippy cup tubs go hand in hand.
I fucking love you, buddy.
We would watch all 3 movies over and over, but Empire would get a special viewing
Oh,
on Xmas Day.
yes.
Yeah, see, there was no lies in my words. Me and Phil used to watch that shit, man, religiously.
Tim Bambridge says Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore was a close second. Now there's a blast from the past. Jonathan Redmond says Star Wars took the usual super clean image of sci-fi and made it feel way more realistic by having lived in looking worlds. Yeah, dirty, manky looking spaceships. Ringy says Return of the Jedi was the first one I ever seen. Oh my god. So I didn't experience the Darth Vader twist, but man, I loved it.
I'm actually with Ringy on this. The first one I ever.
Yeah,
seen
you were the
was-
same, weren't you?
Yeah, it was Return of the Jedi. And then somebody educated me and we saw like New Hope, Empire, and then Return of the Jedi again. But yeah. So when people actually say that they prefer Return of the Jedi, I actually assume that they probably around the same age as me, and that's just kind of how it got started for them as well.
And Universal Collector says Return of the Jedi is best for me. spaceships and monsters and a used world. Damien says, I remember Tubbs said also Jabba as a human, probably mid-80s since I saw that version. And Ringy says, I thought that guy was just a placement thing for Jabba. I didn't know he was actually supposed to be Jabba. And Damien says, I hope you can do your challenge, Brian. A little fun. And Mick says, I too seen Return of the Jedi first as a kid. I didn't know you guys were out there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
See, but this is the beauty of stuff like this, man. You get to like fucking just, you know, like
my odd thing
was
was
the same wave.
My odd thing was I saw I saw A New Hope when I was really small and didn't see Empire or Return for like 6 or 7 years after that.
I was 3 when I saw New Hope the first time.
Holy
yeah, I
shit.
did the same.
At least that's what my dad tells me. I don't remember, but I definitely saw all 3, and I have vivid memories of seeing all 3 in order. So I knew I saw, you know, obviously I saw New Hope before I saw Empire and before I saw Return.
So when you saw New Hope when you were 3, do you remember enough about it, or?
The only memory I have of Star Wars before Empire became like our family tradition at Christmas, was the laser swords, you know, the lightsabers, and that was the thing. Yeah. It stuck in my mind. And the funny thing is, even back then, I had a lightsaber, and essentially it was a piece of paper, like a cone of paper on a torch that my dad made for me. And it was brilliant. It was my own lightsaber. It was amazing. This
actually comes into my next question. My next question was going to be, where did you discover Star Wars? So as you're on it, you can keep going at it.
Oh yeah, again, it's very much my dad. I mean, again, my dad's not a huge Star Wars fan. He's never really bothered about it. Like we were talking about it a couple of years ago, and I said about all the, you know, the sequels, and he's like, "What sequels? What are you talking about?" You know. And then like the other day, because my parents came round to visit, and I was showing him this, and he's like, "Well, what's that?" I went, "It's the Mandalorian." Like, what's a Mandalorian? Like, what?
My dad would be the very same.
And he's like, Boba Fett. He's in Star Trek, right? I was like,
get out.
At that point,
you took me to see them.
But no, yeah, I mean, obviously, it was all very much, you know, TV and VHS and all that kind of stuff, because I don't think they were in the cinemas until the 90s. So I'd have been, you know, because I'm an 80s baby, so you know, I'd have been in double digits by the time when I actually went to the cinema to watch it. And again, watched it in order. Saw New Hope when it came out. Saw Empire. Seeing Empire on the big screen. That's different level. And you know. Jedi's not. I mean, I wouldn't even put it in my top 5 Star Wars movies, but it was the bringing together of that story and the end of what we thought was the end of the Luke Skywalker arc, and understanding, you know, like the redemption of Vader all the way through to him actually becoming Anakin again and all that kind of stuff. And I will still to this day, and I may be against everybody, but I still to this day do not appreciate, and I do not like that Disney changed the image at the end of Jedi. Because I feel like it actually I mean, I know that they say he's reverted back to before he turned to the dark side, but I feel it takes so much away from that final death scene, and then seeing Vader, you know, the scarred up Vader, and then seeing him redeemed and human again, just had such an impact on me as a kid.
Yeah, same.
And then seeing the way they changed it, I'm just like, plus I don't like Hayden Christensen, but that's not really nor there. You know, I just felt it really. I really felt it hurt that scene. But that's just my own opinion, and I've been told so many times by so many people that I'm wrong, but I don't care.
No, I mean, I agree.
You can't be wrong with
that,
opinion,
because from going back to what you were saying on that, is because if he reverted back to the form he was before he became Vader, then his redemption at the end of Jedi doesn't mean anything in the form he takes. So
you know, and I don't know. I mean, I think I know that, you know, the technology is far superior in the prequels and then in the sequels, but it's something about, you know, the way that they put all these things together, and knowing that all of those ships were physical ships, that they actually existed. And knowing that the walkers, like, and I'm a big fan of like films like Jason and the Argonauts and things like that, with that stop motion, utterly garbage in the sense that you can tell that it's stop motion, but for the technology
it's the
that was
charm.
available, it was amazing. And like seeing those walkers and like looking at them going, there is no way those legs will support that weight.
Yeah.
And but seeing them moving through the the train at Hoth and all of that kind of stuff was just, it for me as a kid was just epic. And so that that's kind of what was my introduction. My dad sort of showed it to me, and then my obsession grew from there.
Hobbs, where did you discover Star Wars?
I would have been the same. As Adam was saying, I was an 80s baby, so it was I didn't kind of get to see them in the cinema until they re-released them in the 90s. So I was the same thing, video shops and just seeing them on TV around Christmas times and things like that. Then just would like getting your own videotapes and learning how to copy said video. And then watching it until the wheels fell off. Yeah, so it was basically video stores,
with the videos, you get your free videos, like getting the set. I remember how awesome it was, like one Christmas getting Jedi to complete the set, and then literally the next year they released the box set.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I need that as well then.
and it was as young as that as you knew there was something wrong with your brain, because it wasn't like, it was like, I need to get that, I need to buy this, your collector brain was in you from youth. But I'm saying, it's just, I think I came across them young enough that I wasn't too young to not know what the hell I was taking in, but I was young enough to kind of like appreciate, this is magical, this is amazing, I really liked it. But as Boogie Bop was saying there on the chat, like once we got the tapes, man, in our hands, we binge watched, we just binge watched the shit out of it, like, and it really just took it in. And it was the original trilogy that really kind of like just is the one that, like, I think everyone in this entire chat here is probably going to agree. It's the one that always harks home to you, regardless of any of the other Star Wars content we've gotten over the years. It's the original trilogy that's the one that really kind of just encompasses your childhood. Like,
for me, before I get to you, Bruno, for me, it's my parents' fault in two ways. One, my dad, right, every Friday night used to hire out a movie. It used to be Rambo or whatever, like all the classics, and we used to sit down and watch it. And like you were saying about your dad, Adam, I'd say to my father, like, I was always like, I want to analyze it, and is there more of this? And my dad like, no, sure, we'll see. And you'd never hear of these movies again. So like, that would be then I think I watched that when I was like 4 or 5 or something with him in the sitting room or whatever. And then it was their fault again all those years later, because they were raging alcoholics on the Saturday night. So they used to bring over my cousin, who was, I think, maybe 15, 16 at the time, just to kind of look after me or whatever. And he used to always bring over a video to watch as well. So again, it was kind of the same movies. He ended up watching twice, The Thing and all kind of stuff like that. And he goes, just go sit there one day. So like, will I bring over Star Wars some night? And I was like, I don't know. I think I've seen it. He's like, what do you mean you think you've seen it? It's Star Wars.
You've seen it or you've not seen it.
I was like, yeah, exactly. You've either seen it or you haven't. I goes, I think I saw it when I was young, but I can't really remember. And he goes, I'm bringing over Star Wars next week. So the next 3 weeks in a row, he brought over A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And by God, after the first week, I was like, is it Saturday yet? Nice. And that's how I saw the movies. And then, of course, the rest is history. Then my father came back half pissed that night. That's Star Wars. He knew it then.
Now I know what it is.
Luke Skywalker. But Bruno, fire away.
Mate, honestly, my one, the story of like when I spoke about nostalgia and being a kid, that was my first introductions to Star Wars. It was Christmas or maybe New Year's. Like everybody was around. Like it was like all of the adults talking. The kids were just like, we don't really know each other. I don't really care to talk with you because I'm a kid. I have no social awareness, so fuck it. let's just see what's on TV, and it was Return of the Jedi, and I was like, okay, this is fucking awesome. And Return of the Jedi has everything from a Star Wars movie, right? You have the spaceships, you have the Ewoks, you have your lightsaber fights.
You have the teddy bears with sticks.
Yes, exactly. As a kid, that's exactly what you want, Alan. Teddy bears with sticks.
You see, we all joke, all right? We all joke, but when you fucking saw them when you were younger, you just wanted a fucking Ewok, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
but
want to
they
be
were
best friends
evil.
with
Did you
them.
not see them play the drums in the stormtroopers' heads?
Yeah,
That
They
was
were
dark.
fucking animalistic, man.
it was badass.
This is where this conversation is going to go a little bit sideways, because I never wanted any of the good stuff. I always wanted the Empire stuff.
Did you? You wanted the evil ones.
I'm dark side all the way. Always
Yeah,
have been.
me too.
All right.
All right, Matthew McConaughey.
all right. And then when I was saying about making connections as well, once again, like I was, when you're a kid, you don't know anyone, and I remember, I don't even know who the fuck this guy was, but my parents went to see some friends, and they had a kid who was probably 10, 15. He was definitely older than me, and he was like, "Oh, have you seen Star Wars?" And it was that. And he was telling me about the story. Like, by the way, this motherfucker was so into Star Wars before like anything. He knew about the prequels. He knew about like the whole. There were books. There was loads of things that he was telling me about, and that was like a proper introduction. We stayed at that house for like 7 or 8 hours, and that was New Hope, Empire, and then we didn't even get to finish Return of the Jedi. But man, that was it for me. Like that's like I'm stuck in. This was it. So,
Tell you what, right? So while we're on it, the subject of it, things like Sky Movies kept doing, obviously before it moved to Disney Plus, but Sky Movies always kept doing that. The Sky Movies Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding. The amount of times that I've sat and watched all 3 movies back to back,
just because it's on.
Yeah.
But I've seen this thing, like this thing going around. Oh, you have to watch a movie for 24 hours straight. And if you do, we'll give you £25 million. What movie it'd be? It's like any of the Star Wars movies.
Empire.
Just put on any of those original trilogy ones. I'll watch them back to back. I don't care.
Well, for me now, it would be Stephen King's It, but that's for another show.
Okay, so let's go to the comments. Jonathan said, Bernard Wynn. Bernard, how's it going? Welcome to chat. He says Star Wars was the start of collecting to me. Yeah, that was my problem there as well. Jonathan says, I think I was 7 when I saw New Hope in the cinema. Ringy, episode 3 was the only Star Wars I've seen in the cinema. I actually feel sorry for you now. It's one of the best of the old trilogy, or the new prequels, so I will say.
I've always said it though. Can you imagine having the original trilogy with the sequel to the trilogy technology?
Oof. No, I'd still keep them as they are.
I don't get me wrong, I still think they're incredible the way they are, but can you just imagine the difference? Like if we were experiencing the original trilogy for the first time, but it was made with the same technology that they made the sequels, which is a lot of new Star Wars fans. Their only experience of Star Wars is the sequels.
Yeah,
but imagine seeing that story, but with that current technology.
As long as we didn't have current internet to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Because that would
there's no way they'd have kept Vader.
That would tear it apart.
It would have been in the trailer.
Yeah. Yes.
And Leia would have said, "I love you," and Han Solo says, "I know," and then Twitter would have exploded.
Yeah.
Feminist. But yeah. Tim Bainbridge says that fat human Jabba was Irish. I'm sure he was in Father Ted.
Huh.
Whoa.
There you go.
Hey.
Damien says
all sorts today.
Damien says, yeah, but to hear the Emperor's haunting theme on the big screen, but I wouldn't give to experience that.
Yeah. I'll second that. That would have been amazing.
Connor said, wait, are you saying they're trying to wipe history? Is this a new tactic? Yeah, but the Anakin thing.
I don't even think that's what it is. I just think it was George Lucas swinging his dick around, man. Just
he was trying to make more of a connection between the originals and the prequels. By introducing Hayden Christensen as a Force Ghost, he thought that was one way that basically our generation and us that grew up with the originals would connect more with the prequels, because we were the most vocal about how much a lot of us didn't like elements of the prequels. You know, don't get me wrong, I love elements of the prequels, and that's not Jar Jar Binks, just so we know. But there are also elements of it. You know, I've said so many times that I think they cast Anakin wrong. I think it should have been somebody with more gravitas than Hayden Christensen, because of many reasons, and we're not going to go into it now. But there's so many elements that us as original fans didn't like about the prequels and ultimately the sequels. Yeah. And I think George was like, how do I get these people to start buying my stuff? Oh, I don't know. I'll stick Hayden Christensen in the original trilogy.
I'm just going to remaster the fuck out of everything. Even if
Jonathan said there, Jonathan Redmond said, well, the old trilogy lasted so well due to so many people standing up to George Lucas and telling him some of his ideas sucked. No one had the balls to do that during the prequels. Yeah, I'd agree with that 100%. Ringy also...
wasn't it with A New Hope? No, with Empire. That there were some of the ideas that George Lucas came forward with, and the director went, "We're not doing that."
Yeah,
and it's like,
he directed the old trilogy himself.
You're going to make your lead characters look like idiots. I was like, well, they kind of were.
Ringy says, I agree, Alan. They should have kept Anakin Force Ghost as the older one. He still got old. He didn't die young. The next thing they'll replace Alec Guinness with Ewan McGregor.
Yes. Yeah.
I've actually seen an edit, and it's not an official edit. It's like one of these deep fakes where they've done that. But I was like, Obi-Wan didn't need redemption, so why would he revert back to his... But they do say as a Force ghost, you can appear however the fuck you like, so...
So maybe Anakin preferred his long hair.
Yeah, maybe he preferred to look like Hayden Christensen, I don't
know. Now, on the topic of Star Wars, Brian, can I actually ask the group a question?
Go on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll ask the question and we'll go around like the room. All right. In the original or in the Star Wars universe in general, right? Who is the biggest villain in regards Anakin's fall? Like, who do you think? Like,
do you know what? I think it's Darth Maul.
Do you reckon?
Because he's the one that killed Qui-Gon, and I think Qui-Gon is the missing link that Anakin needed to actually keep him on the straight and narrow and keep him on the light side, because he lost that father figure.
Yeah, I agree.
He never had a father, had he? All throughout his growing up, his youth, he never had a father. He then suddenly got this connection with this very wise Jedi
who fought for him and
who fought for him, won his freedom, was going to train him as a Jedi, and then was taken away from him very abruptly, and ultimately he was given a brother rather than a father.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I agree with you there, Adam, because Obi-Wan was still a Padawan himself, and he was just becoming a Jedi himself, so he wasn't cut out to be training a young fella who was already too old, going by the Jedi Council, of course, and they didn't really help either, I don't think.
Funnily enough, but I would have said Qui-Gon was also the reason he did fall. He did go towards the dark side. So, Alan, that's a fair point, right? Qui-Gon was his father figure, right? But the same, he hyped himself. He hyped him up.
Absolutely.
And
I think it's kind of that. And sorry to talk over you, Bruno. Right. I think it's he got him to the point of, I'm going to train you as a Jedi.
Yeah.
And then was never there to train him as a Jedi. So he never got that opportunity to kind of level him out.
No.
Whereas I think Obi-Wan kind of took on the Qui-Gon says you're like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I'm going to make sure that you know you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah. And I think his head just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And he basically believed his own hype. Whereas I think Qui-Gon would have knocked him down a few pegs. The same way he did with Obi-Wan, saying, you're not ready for this kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And he would have given him that level, that leveling that he never got.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, because like Qui-Gon, even with what he said with the council, like, even if you don't approve it, I'm just going to train him anyway. Like, he was sacrificing so much for this kid, and he's like, Anakin is seeing this. He is getting all hyped. He's believing he's the one that will bring balance, and then
Spoiled
yes,
in a way.
it is.
Like you're getting a lot of people in the comments are agreeing with you as well, Alan. Ringy says if Qui-Gon beat Darth Maul, Anakin would have never turned to the dark side. And Joshy Bevan, who we know.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
not saying he wouldn't have turned. I'm just saying I think it would have been a very different fall from Grace. I don't think Palpatine would have ever been able to get in his ear the way that he did, because I think Qui-Gon would have been much more aware of that king. I mean, I personally think that Qui-Gon was kind of edging towards, I think they call them grey Jedi.
Yeah, that's what Josh said.
He used both
Yes.
the light and the dark.
Yeah.
He understood the light and the dark, and I think he would have had a much better sense that Palpatine was Sith, and therefore would have kept Anakin away from him. But I'm still not saying that he wouldn't have fallen.
No, but hold on. But actually, that's such an interesting theory, right? So Josh, I'm reading the comments as well. Joshy definitely mentioned about
Being a grey.
Qui-Gon being a grey Jedi, but the whole thing about Qui-Gon is he kept saying he would bring balance to the Force. So
Which he did.
He did.
yeah, but
For
this
a
is
while.
the thing. What he meant by it, could it not have been, I'm going to teach you the dark and the light. I'm going to teach you how to deal with your emotions. I'm going to teach you that actually you can have a partnership. Whilst the Jedi Council is great, that's not the be all and end all. You do not need to be a Jedi Knight to be fulfilled, right? That was the whole
Because
thing.
Qui-Gon used to argue with the Jedi Council the whole time as well.
He wasn't a member of the council, was he?
No.
But he
Can
was.
I add
he
an
was,
extra
again,
layer
he
to
was a
this?
bit like Anakin because he was a master. Well, no, so he wasn't. He was a Jedi Knight, wasn't he? He wasn't a master.
No, he wasn't a master, no.
So he never made it to a master, and that's And I'm pretty sure that didn't Yoda say that if you actually followed the rules, then that's
Obi-Wan.
beyond the council.
Obi-Wan said that to
Obi-Wan.
Qui-Gon.
There you go. So it was Obi-Wan. You're right. Yes. And I think that's one of the things that Anakin was always missing is that somebody telling him both sides. Whereas the Jedi was like, this is the way we do it, and this is how it's right.
Yeah.
This is why you should do it our way.
The dogmatic view of the
And then
Jedi, as they say.
Palpatine in his ear is like, but you could do it this way.
Yeah.
But you want to know how I see it? This is just a fucked up scenario on a kind of a viewing point from the tubs here.
Padme.
I do agree with what Alan said about Qui-Gon.
I was going to say that at first.
No. But
I'm not going to
Qui-Gon-
take it any further though.
genuine Qui-Gon is probably, as I do agree with Alan, could have been that element that kept him from possibly turning. But once he was gone, like, this is how I see it. Yeah, Palpatine turned him and he was in his ear, but he didn't really push him there. If you look back over these movies, you had fucking Princess Amidala that groomed him since he was a fucking child.
Yeah, that's messed
taken
up.
from his mother. He was fucking. He was constantly fucking kind of like told, no, you're not kind of ready, or we don't want you sitting in this chamber of Jedi, even though we stole you to be that fucking chosen one to begin with. Imagine that, like, his fucking head, like, growing up and being fried, and they all fucked with him. Like, he was fucked with by his own people before he even, So if I was fucking Obi or Anakin, man, fucking killing fucking sand fucking people and killing kids, I would have fucked up some Jedis, man. Took some fucking ears and hung them on my fucking neck.
He did. He did it all.
Yeah.
He did the whole lot.
Yeah.
But isn't it fucked up, right?
Kids,
They look
sand
at like,
people,
well,
Jedi,
Anakin's the
everything.
villain of the story, and Princess Amidala's in the corner going, "I'll never tell." She fucking groomed him, man.
You have to add into that Mace Windu as well, because Mace Windu was one of his biggest like barriers for becoming a Jedi Knight or a Jedi Master. He was the one that delivered the we grant you a seat on this council, but we don't give you the rank.
Yeah.
And he was also the one that when he was going to face Palpatine, basically said, "Go and sit in there and wait for us. And if you're right, then I'll come back and you've got my respect." If he'd have actually said, "You know what? Come with me.
Yeah,
let's go and check this out," he would have actually gained a bit more. Anakin would have had more respect for Windu, and therefore maybe would have been a little bit more hesitant in. I mean, in all honesty, Mace Windu stands like this for about 20 minutes waiting for Anakin to cut his arm off. But you kind of get that.
It was dramatic, like we said the other night, Alan.
It was dramatic. But would he have had that situation had Anakin gone along with him?
No, like he probably would have been all right.
See, they
But
didn't
that's what I
trust
mean.
him.
There's a lot of
It wouldn't
the
have taken the
factors
story
that led
forward.
into
They
it.
didn't trust him
From
though,
the
because he
Jedi
was
side.
so close to
No.
to Palpatine at the time. That's why they didn't trust him. They told him to stay way over there.
But the funny thing as well, it's partly Windu's fault that he was so close to Palpatine because he wanted him to spy on Palpatine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
So
that's my
you
point
could probably
exactly.
say that
It's kind
the
of like
whole
his
Jedi
own
Council
people.
have to take responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point. Is I think that the Jedi, like, do you know the way the Jedi, they have all their rules about, like, you can't have a bitch and you can't have, you know, like sprogs coming out of your vagina
Yeah.
and all this crazy shit. Whatever the fuck way they say it. But if you
When,
look at it,
I'll tell you what, though,
all
when you
jokes
start
aside,
thinking
though,
about it,
go on,
how
go on.
screwed up is it for the Jedi that they won't have their own kids, so therefore they know they're going to be force sensitive?
But
We're
they'll
just going to
steal
go
them
out
from
into the
anyone.
universe, just
Yeah,
find
but
you
we
and
just
take
take
you
your
away from your
kids.
family.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they won't take people that are too old to train, and Anakin was too old
Well-
to train, because he would have been too old to be indoctrinated. Like Jedi's were religion. Like
And he
It's-
was
it's-
too old to train, but he was too young for
Yeah.
Amidala.
of course he was.
I suppose as
Um,
well, when you look at it from that perspective, he was too old because he'd already formed attachments.
mm.
Yeah.
He already loved his mother.
He already had loss and
that,
stuff
that
like
was
that.
his thing. And
Yeah.
then part of his fall, obviously, was the death of his mother at the hands of the Sand People.
Yeah.
That, you know, that's kind of where you realistically see his first dark moment.
Yeah, but then again,
Well, in the movies, obviously, but there's
you-
more to it in the Clone Wars.
you could blame the Jedi Council again for that.
Yeah.
Like, they knew he had an attachment. Like
Why not bring her with them?
Yeah, you see how rich the Republic is and how they live. And it's like, yeah, we can have one more person, and it'll be one more person that's there. Like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good question.
just-
So my point to that entire thing, though, Bruno, is like, so Palpatine's not really a villain, really, is he?
Oh, he is.
Oh, he's
an
still a
artist.
villain.
Man, he took a
he
kid
wants
that had been
ultimate power,
like,
so he's
tortured
definitely
and
the villain.
sexually abused by Jedi and Amidalas, and he just took him. He tried to take him away from all of it, man. You know, give him a better life.
Let's rule the galaxy together.
Jeez, Tubbs.
That's like that
I
theory
think
about
at
Luke
this point,
Skywalker
I
being a
think Tubbs is
terrorist.
just trying to get a rise out of someone.
Yep.
Oh God!
Next, you're gonna tell us Jar Jar Binks is probably the best character in the.
Before we
Jar
go
Jar
on
Binks
to,
is absolutely a Sith.
before we go on to the-
It's a better theory.
It's about the only one
we
that
got.
makes
it's like the theory that Luke Skywalker is actually a radicalized terrorist and blew up the
Yeah.
base,
Yes.
killing millions of people.
Accurate.
But,
man.
It's
so
accurate.
in the comments, Boogie Bop said, couldn't agree more, it's Qui-Gon. He took him away from his mother, put the weight of the galaxy on him, and then abandoned him, leaving him
Yeah.
to an immature Obi. Jonathan Redmond, all Obi-Wan or Padme had to do was buy Shimmy and no fault to the dark side. Yeah, his mother, like. And oh my God, Joshy Boy says, well, Qui-Gon wanted to rescue his mum and he turned down the master role. He refused a seat in the council and continued to train Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of the Jedi didn't believe in the prophecy. They were close already, they just took advantage of it. Oh my God. Ringy says, Tubbs, let's be honest, we would all love to be groomed by Natalie Portman.
No,
Now,
God.
everyone
No.
except for Brian O'Regan.
No, can't stand the
No.
woman.
Break my heart.
I'll
Qui-Gon-
fucking break your neck if
Ringy
you give
says
it a chance,
also-
love.
Qui-Gon. Oh, it all was delved into this at some stage or another. Ringy says Qui-Gon always knew he saw Anakin's future. He told him he would have to find a way and to trust his feelings, and in the end, he did find another way. He did bring balance, and he did defeat the dark side. Yeah, he did. Okay, so this one is pretty personal. Well, we'll all have our own answers here. Favorite character of the whole series, can be from any media, movie, or whatever. I will start with Bruno.
You prick.
I heard that.
It is really hard, but I will.
And the question?
Yeah, the fact that Alan isn't even in his seat and he still heard that, he can just hear the cackling in the distance. So actually, Darth Maul is probably up there. I also really, I suppose everyone kind of likes Anakin when in like Return of the Jedi, where black gob, like yellow lightsaber, fucking hell, green lightsaber. But
Luke, you mean?
Yeah,
what
Luke.
did I say?
You said
It's
Anakin.
Anakin. But yeah,
Oh fuck no, sorry. But yeah, actually, I think I'm actually gonna say Darth Maul. Motherfucker went against 2 Jedi's, like orchestrated a whole shit of stuff going on, and actually Ray Park was just insane.
Tubbs.
Ray.
Mary Sue.
Oh, serious?
No, God, no.
I was like, wait, what's happening?
I was waiting for the punchline.
I was
Yeah.
I could feel the anger building in people. I was going like, he better say something else.
I thought there was gonna. Yeah, I was waiting for the punchline as well. I was like, oh.
I mean, like you could go with the obvious ones, as I said, like, do you know what I mean, like Luke and fucking Vader and things like that, you know. But I dig fucking characters like Han, you know, fucking and Lando and things. I really dug those characters. My favorite Star Wars character out of the entire thing, though. Christ, that's a hard one. Yoda.
Oh, fat play.
Because he's small like you.
Yeah, man,
Hey.
he gets me, right? He's like myself. He's a wee little guy.
Gets me, he does.
I do like Yoda, and a lot more in the original trilogy.
We've
like,
had
you know,
we've had
he was training
a
Luke.
few kick tubs and ban tubs in the comments already for that Ray comment.
Oh gosh,
He's on your back one
Now,
night. He's already.
I will say one thing though. I probably will get shit out of this. I didn't hate Ray's character as much as most people did.
I don't hate her either.
I didn't
I
hate
actually
the character.
thought she was one of the stronger points of the fucking new trilogy.
At all. I just find that they put her as a lead character and got her to the point of having these ridiculous powers without
of course,
ever learning them. They're just suddenly there.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
think they were
that's
clouded
my
because she was
issue
hot
with
as balls.
Who?
Yeah. I
Okay,
found her very
so-
attractive, so I was kind of watching it going, I don't care if you can move puppies around those rocks. You're pretty.
Okay, Alan, your favorite character of the whole thing.
So anyone who knows me and knows my Star Wars, as much as I love the original trilogy, I'm a massive Clone Wars fan. So many characters through that I think, you know, have excellent character arcs. There's so much development through everything, but one that I will say that when she was first introduced, I hated her with a passion. But by the time we get to season 7 of the Clone Wars,
I know.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka Tano. I really enjoyed like the development that she has all through the Clone Wars, how she kind of goes from this really irritating little child to actually being a well-respected sort of member of the Jedi Council, member of the Jedi Order, to then realizing that there's something fundamentally wrong with the Jedi, so therefore seeking her own path. I think the end of season 7, where you kind of see her back, and like, again, anybody who knows me will know that her troops became my favorite clones. I've got a fuck ton of them. You know, the 332nd, although they're never actually called the 332nd, they're just known as, they're the 501st with Ahsoka helmets. But everything about her, you know, she becomes a really interesting character. Then obviously into the Mandalorian, that she was then announced that she was going to make an appearance and be played by Rosario Dawson. I hated that idea. Yep, there she is.
Oh, nice.
I hated the idea of her being played by Rosario Dawson because I'm not a fan of her acting. There's not many movies I've seen her in that I enjoyed, but I found after seeing her on screen that, you know, my joy of the character didn't change. I think she did a fantastic job. I'm actually really looking forward to the Ahsoka series. I even got the Ahsoka book for my birthday for Christmas, but I can't read it because it's in German.
Oh, no way.
Nice.
My wife ordered it off Amazon and basically ordered the German version. And by the time,
it is good, yes.
yeah, very good. And yeah, I kind of looked at it, put it to one side, and we kind of continued the rest of Christmas, did like the family stuff and all the rest of it. And I went to read it, opened up the first page, and I'm like, this is not in English. Okay.
Fucking
And
German.
by that point, I couldn't return it because we'd gone outside the Amazon window. So yeah,
Oh,
so I've got I've got the German Ahsoka book if anyone wants it. But yeah, no, Ahsoka Tano, out of every thing within Star Wars, she's my favorite.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I'm gonna go a bit outside the box for mine. In the movies, I always liked Boba Fett, but there was nothing to the character. He was nothing until the Mandalorian. But I always thought he was cool. But anyway, any of you that know me know I absolutely love the game Knights of the Old Republic on Xbox and PC. And the story in that game, I think, to this day, is still one of the best Star Wars stories there has ever been outside of the movies. Maybe has even more so than some of the movies. My choice is Darth Revan.
I knew you were going to say that.
And this is a 15-year-old game, so I'm going to spoil it if you haven't seen it. Basically, you start out playing as some no-name dude, and you hear about Darth Revan and Darth Malak, who are former amazing Jedi who saved the galaxy from the Mandalorians, and it's like a choice thing. So you actually get to become a Jedi, you learn how to become a Jedi and all, and go across all these different galaxies and stuff. And the big massive plot twist is you go after Malak. Revan is missing, but you fight Malak, you beat him, then you get a choice whether to be good or bad, and then it reveals you that you've been Darth Revan all along. But you've been mind wiped. And when that reveal happened, my mind was like, I literally dropped the controller and I was like, what? It's just the most amazing game ever.
It's definitely one of the coolest and best hidden like surprises or reveals within Star Wars. I think it's a fantastic way that they did it. I've never played the game, but I've read the full story of the actual game, the way it's set up. And when, again, same with you, Brian, when there's like, you are Revan, I'm like, so what?
Yeah. It's like there was this mask kind of like Kylo Ren's that you get about halfway through the game. And so I've only played it on straight away, and then like that comes off in the final FMV, and it's your character, whoever you created. You're like, what?
Because I've only played like bits of it, but I've seen loads of it, and obviously from you, Brian, and from Boogie Bop as well. Because he's like yourself, he loved that growing up, the Knights of the Republic. I was a console head, so I think my favorite Star Wars game to date.
It was on console.
Oh, no, yeah, but it was on. I never had an Xbox. So.
Yeah, I was PlayStation
before Unleashed. I loved. I thought that game was fucking badass.
Starkiller.
Oh, still, yeah.
Yeah, Starkiller was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. Starkiller was just massively overpowered as well. Like if you look at him, actually, if you try and be as,
he was a Vader clone though, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, he's not. He is a young Jedi or a young Force-sensitive child that Vader finds, kills his master, and then basically takes him as his secret apprentice.
Yes.
But in the second one, he's a clone.
He's a clone in the second one. Yeah,
he's a clone of the original.
He was making multiple clones and stuff. Second one that wasn't as good. It was much shorter and everything. But
the story of the second one was brilliant, but they just didn't put any effort into it. If it had been about, I don't know, 20 or 30 levels longer, it would have been. That was it, man. It was just too short.
Yeah. But I think the first one, spoilers for anyone that hasn't played it because the game is years old at this point, but there's a level where you literally stand there and you have to literally use your hands to pull down an entire fucking Star Destroyer.
Yeah. That was so cool.
Absolutely brilliant.
Fucking crazy. Because I mean, when I first played that level, I'd never seen anything like that done in a Star Wars game, you know?
Also, how frustrating was that? Trying to get those two bits
pull the things down,
pulling it down, and then just as you get it and you think, yeah, it's working, and the bloody TIE fighters come after you.
Funny story about it. Now that we're on Star Wars games for a second, was you remember they released the Super Nintendo versions?
Oh, that was so difficult.
Like Star Wars Empire and Jedi. Brian will know this place because he lives in Limerick. But do you remember the place that was up by top of town? It turned into a tablet after a while, but it was a big, huge video store with games and everything in there, like a rental store.
Oh, Rochester Street.
If Phil is still in the comments, he write down and tell the lads. I remember we rented that out to play it.
I never took it back.
And literally 10 or 12 weeks later, I was in the car and my dad opened up the glove compartment and the game falls out onto my lap. I just refused to give it back. Yeah, it's probably still there.
Tubbs pirating before pirating was fucking cool.
Yeah. You
So,
talk about Force Unleashed. I've said it so many times that Hasbro need to give us Star Killer, but I got bored of waiting, so I made my own.
Yeah.
You made it.
No, fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Alan, man, you're going to have conversations. I think there's a Tubbs figure that has to be brought into the world. I think you're the man to make it.
I've done a few customs for Brian, so
yeah, my Tenchu is on the way.
I was hoping it'd be there by now.
Be tomorrow. Well, I've no work tomorrow, thankfully, so hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. So everybody else's favorite. Jonathan says Vader, Mick Holland. I know he's taking the piss, but he says Jar Jar Binks. Connor says Luke Skywalker for me, easy. Just wish I'd get a decent figure of him with a nice face sculpt. Joshy Palpatine. I'm somehow not surprised.
Really? How are you not surprised by that?
I don't know. I just had a feeling. Damien says Palpatine as well, and he said Tarkin, 88, and Reese Yees. Ringy, Darth Maul for me in Star Wars. Michael Myers in all media. Well, what I actually meant, Mike Ringy, was all Star Wars media. But yeah, I love Michael Myers as well. Connor says Kick Tubbs. Right. Ringy says ban Tubbs. He's on his second warning. Jonathan said Vader only killed 4 people in the original trilogy and was one of the biggest villains in film history for decades.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's just badass. Saying dickheads isn't. And Ringy says Ahsoka is always a good shout. Damien says a big fan of Snoke. Huge mistake by not having him as a big bad instead of Palpatine for Skywalker.
Could have been epic, but ended up being just a complete waste.
Just a silly clone. And Ringy said she did pull off a good Ahsoka. That was Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
And Joshy says, Alan, don't you think they are putting Ahsoka into too many of the spin-off medias? Huh.
There's definitely an argument for that. I mean, I think the thing is,
I think there's a big market for her, though.
Ahsoka has always been one of Dave Filoni's best projects. Like he's always backed her. He was the reason that she got introduced in the Clone Wars and everything else. And in all fairness, as soon as you give Dave Filoni a TV show, are you telling me he's not going to introduce his favorite character?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it in one sense as well, Alan, Brian, and Bruno, I've always looked at it this way: Ahsoka in the Star Wars universe is very much the Harley Quinn of the DC universe. She was literally created for an animated show, and she became one of the biggest properties to date. And Ahsoka did the same thing for Star Wars. So yeah,
well, the funny thing is, they almost wrote her out after season 1.
Yeah,
because she was so widely hated. But Dave Filoni and the rest of his team were very adamant that people will soon understand the reason why this character is here and the arc that she's going to fall, and also the importance she has to Anakin's fall to the dark side. Because you think, well, it's another one of his attachments that got taken away because of Clone Wars.
I've been promising Brian for 2 years that I'll watch more of Clone Wars. I still haven't finished.
Right, so I've said this many, many times. What Disney need to do is on Disney Plus, they need to release the Clone Wars, but in chronological order rather than in series order, because you'll be in season 1 and you've got characters that are die basically, and then they're back in season 3.
Alan, spoilers.
Huh? It came out like a decade ago, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, fuck off.
I didn't mention who the characters were.
Yeah, you did, to be fair, he didn't.
So, dude, if I haven't seen it already, that's my fault. You know what I mean?
What I've been saying to Tubbs though is when you're watching The Mandalorian and stuff, and these characters start popping up, it's 100 times better. Because oh, there's that person. Oh, there's that person. So
yeah. When you start, I think that's one of the things I like about Star Wars as a whole is when you start seeing, especially with the newer stuff, you see the hints back to the old characters, and but even in Clone Wars, when you see some of the original characters pop up, and you're like, ooh, it's very absolutely that meme about Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, you're pointing at Springer.
Yeah.
I know you.
So
I'll
just-
always sing praise to the Clone Wars. I absolutely love it.
Ringy said Revan is a class character and needs a remake of that game.
That's
Good
it.
old
There
days.
you go.
The good old
I love it.
days. The good old days.
It's the other one. Where's the other one? It's in the middle there. With these from Django Unchained. That meme is just fucking
Which one?
works for everything.
Everywhere.
Oh, this one. There you go.
Yeah,
we
it
love
just
that
works
one.
for everything. Like,
Oh my
There's
god.
there's so many times you can use that one.
Damien says, will they ever do a movie with Tron as the overall enemy? Well, Tron is going to be the villain for the new Ahsoka series, actually.
He is, yeah.
Joshy Boy
Well,
says,
You say that.
isn't
He's going to be in it, but we again at this point they're keeping their cards close to the chest because the thing is, at the end of Rebels, Thrawn disappeared. Nobody knows where he is.
Right, yeah.
We know she's looking for him. Whether he's actually alive or not, we don't know.
Joshy said, isn't it bad? Where's it going? Isn't it bad how most of the faves mentioned aren't from the main movies? Well,
I mean, guys, don't get me wrong. I like Chewie.
I love Luke
Han.
Skywalker.
I mentioned
as well.
Yoda.
Yeah, that's true, Joshy. You
It's
did
the same.
mention
We've got
Yoda.
Yoda. He's from the originals. We've got several people said Vader.
And Bruno said,
And I also
Maul,
mentioned
wasn't
Luke
it?
and Han.
I said Maul.
Yeah,
I love
Maul-
Darth
Maul.
Maul, actually. I thought.
I mean,
he was
don't
that
get me
cool.
Well, I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I think that's a sign of how much it's grown since.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Since
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, in
I
spite
mean,
of
I
Kathleen
still love
Kennedy.
Luke Skywalker, but I will say I'm much more of a fan of Mark Hamill when he plays the Joker.
It's
Yeah.
When
crazy
he
because I mean, when the first few movies came out, I remember reading stuff about that like he was kind of like people were kind of saying it's like, oh, he's not a good actor, he's no range. And then jumpstart a few years later, and the dude is just fucking nothing but a ball of fucking mechanical range, like,
Yeah, he's an incredible actor. Anyone
Do you know
who
what I mean?
says
Like,
he
it's crazy.
doesn't know
like,
anything about him.
Like,
Okay.
You think as well. You think of how much that they wanted to keep going with him because there was talk that he was going to be recast in Empire, but obviously, and it was
the
in
accident.
Empire because he
That
had
was
the
the accident, though, wasn't it?
He had a massive
Yeah.
car accident, which obviously
But I
lots
think
of
that
scarring
actually.
in that.
But I quite like the fact that he. I
I
know
think
that sounds
that
fucked up. but
added
yeah,
to
Yes.
Luke's persona more.
Oh,
because
it absolutely did. But
It was like
at
the grown-up.
time, because of when it happened, they were like it was going to delay filming. So then George Lucas and the rest of the team were looking to replace him.
No, fucking hell.
Glad they did.
it wouldn't be
Yeah.
the thing it is now if they did that. Like.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
So just sticking for video games for one last question. If you were given the reins to make a Star Wars video game, which character, which hasn't had one already, would you center it around?
Who hasn't had one already?
Yeah, I'll go Tubbs first.
straight off the bat, I'm going to go with a video game based on Vader from the end of number 3 to the start of number 4.
Ooh,
Nice
I like
time
that.
period too.
That's
Excellent.
Yeah, I've always wanted, Joe, the way they made that like Han Solo film, and they're making all these TV series. I really want them to make a Vader show. That
I think we'll get some of that in
time.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, so that would be my pick.
Bruno.
I would actually go with the Smuggler RPG game, as in
Cool.
you playing your way through Han Solo. Like, I know we've had Solo the movie, but I want to see you like, right, I'm gonna smuggle these things. I'm gonna have to do some stealth. I'm gonna have to do some actions. I'm gonna have to choose like, I'm gonna have a drink and shape your personality based on that. I'm gonna take this deal. I'm not gonna take this deal. I'm gonna buy this ship. I'm gonna gamble. Like, just I would love to see something like that.
Grand
And
Theft
then-
Auto Star Wars.
Kind of, yes, kind
That'd
of
be
like
fucking
that,
epic.
but with a smuggler Han, and yeah, fucking Chewie in there as well. So yeah,
Alan.
You know what I'm going to say here, Brian, because we've had this conversation so many times. But basically, a open world Mandalorian. Basically, you're a Mandalorian bounty hunter.
yeah.
Whether it be Din Djarin or you can choose any of the other bounty hunter types, but it definitely needs to center around a Mando. But basically, you can travel around the galaxy. You can go to different planets. You can you can go after different targets. And again, sort of a bit like a Grand Theft Auto style type thing. You have all these various missions. You have to go and kind of soup up your weapons, keep filling up with ammo, all that kind of stuff. So, you have to maybe do a bit like what they had to do in the Bad Batch, where you have to do a mission in order to get the money to buy ammunition, all that kind of stuff. But something proper open world, kind of a Red Dead Redemption sort of open world.
Red Dead Redemption meets Elite Dangerous.
Yeah. So, just that kind of thing that just something you can play for weeks and weeks and still have loads to do.
Yeah. Like I was thinking something similar, but we'll say you start on Tatooine as a child and some dodgy Jedi comes and picks you up. But no. No, but like
wow.
No, you know what I mean?
Brian's ultimate
come and sit on my lap, little boy, and feel my lightsaber.
He gets brought to the Catholic order,
Oh wow! I knew I was going to take it there.
Come and feel me. So let me feel the midichlorians in you.
So basically, like a third person. Okay, so the Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Basically, you start out as nobody and Rey Skywalker, let's say, and you have to learn.
So you stay in
learn to be a Jedi or learn to be a Sith. But you learn the ways of the Force and what have you, and then you can eventually go off world, but you have to do all your shit where you were first, that kind of thing, But it's more or less the same as Alan's, except not a bounty hunter, but a Jedi. But I think that would be incredible.
We're missing out on the mobile game market, though.
No ads. No microtransactions.
Could you imagine the potential of it, all right? Could you imagine the potential of this? That you get all these like kids games for fucking on the Google Play stores and stuff.
You know what you do for a mobile game?
Remember Build-A-Bear?
The Cantina.
Build an Ewok.
Build an Ewok.
Dress him up and you give him funky hats and
here's how you get some mobile content in the Mandalorian one is that you can get your missions sent to your mobile phone.
Oh wow, that's a great idea.
I like that. Fuck
somebody
you have a mobile phone interface where you can basically have your mission on your mobile while you're playing your game on your screen.
See, that's way better than my fucking Ewok game. No matter who's making money.
See, I like that idea, but I would even expand that shit further. Imagine actually being able, like, you're in a face-off as a Mandalorian, and there's like has anyone played a Ghost of Tsushima, by the way?
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've played it.
You know when you press the triangle and like you start like slicing motherfuckers up, right? Imagine something like you have a face-off, and then instead of you using your controller, you actually use the interface, and you're like, all right, I picked this guy. I'm gonna like throw a laser at this prick, something like that. That would be fucking sick.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like when they're getting ready for their face off, do a hand solo and just go bang.
Bang. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Okay.
In the comments,
say, just if we get to make any game again, though, if I get to, if anyone's listening and they want to make, I want Force Unleashed 3, please.
Or Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Yes. Or remaster and remake the Knights of the Old Republic. Do it properly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In the comments, somewhat between Jonathan and Joshy, they can argue over it. Age of Empires game where you're playing as Palpatine.
That's decent.
That's fucking.
That is.
That's a good idea.
I like that.
Like a theme park game as well, where you have to like build a Death Star.
Oh.
You know what? I was thinking of. Do you ever
cool.
hear that it's a VR game where you basically like do office work and stuff? Have you heard of that? And you've heard of that?
Yeah.
But I was thinking like working on the Death Star, scrubbing the decks. And stuff.
Yeah, but it always ends the same way, Brian.
X-Wings.
It always ends the same way.
Who on earth would buy a VR game where you're working in an office? That's just my life.
I did.
Is that where I fucking played it?
But like, can you imagine? It's like, oh, just sweeping the decks. Oh, look, an X-Wing. I wonder what they're doing around there. Then the flames come behind. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You can imagine it. You're mopping the deck and you look up and you see an X-Wing. You're like, oh,
fuck.
I'm going to have to go and clear up that bloody mess
Sweeping
now.
sim turns into a running sim all of a sudden.
Go to escape pod.
Damien says, I'd like to see Dengar in Mandalorian Season 3, but for a game character, it needs to be scum and villainy again. Reese Yees. Ringy said, I want an open world where you're just nobody with force powers. You can choose to be good or bad or in between. Yeah, similar to what I said.
Yeah, I'm absolutely always going to be choosing the dark side. So much more fun. I'm going to lift you up. I'm going to crush your neck and throw you over
Use
there.
lightning for fuck's sake. Connor says, anyone ever play Imperial Academy on phones years ago? I love that game and they pulled it. No, I don't think I've even heard of that, to be honest.
No.
I remember there being a Star Wars game on the Nintendo Wii that was like a first person, and you used the controller with the lightsaber, and then like you could use the other controller for like your force powers and
Lifting
stuff.
your hands and stuff, yeah.
So it had some potential, but ultimately garbage.
So this is Imperial Academy.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's wicked. So what, you're like a stormtrooper?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Imperial Academy. Look.
Sick.
That reminds me of like old Doom days, man.
Yeah, that does very much look like Doom, doesn't
Dark
it?
Forces.
Kind of graphics and all that.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do I have loads of questions, so I'll just do a few more and we'll close it up then because it's getting late. So we can always come back for round 2 in a couple of weeks anyway.
I'm up for
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Sweet. Okay, so this is a good one, I think anyway. One Marvel or DC character to join the Star Wars universe and why? I'll start with Bruno, because he looks the most anguished by this.
So here's the thing: when this person joins the Star Wars universe, what is the intent? Can they fuck around with things? Because there's only one. And actually, can they have the equipment that they have in the Marvel universe?
It's up to you.
Because if they don't, it's pointless. But if they do, then fuck it. Professor X. Like Palpatine 2.0 is like, yeah, you're doing what I want to. Yeah, you're doing what I want to. It's done.
Would he be the Jedi version of Palpatine, though?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. He'd probably be corrupted. He's been corrupted. So
See, that's something I hadn't thought about. They could be corrupted by the dark and light side once they come over.
Yeah. So I think Professor X. I mean, fuck it. If you wanted to go boring, you could do like Brie Larson and Captain Marvel.
Don't start it. Yeah. So
Breathe, Tubbs. Breathe.
My choice.
Stupid fucking archery videos.
Okay, so
Okay.
I hadn't thought about this much until you said their powers as well come over. So I have to think a full-on Sith Doctor Doom will be fucking awesome.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Like, he is the most intelligent character even if he's got a big giant Galactus head now that no one likes. But I think him in Star Wars will be more intelligent than I know. I don't know where I was going with that. More intelligent than Palpatine, I think, and probably more dangerous than anything that's over there or has been there.
And are we allowed to pick one of each or just one?
Oh.
Just one.
He said Marvel or DC, not Marvel and DC.
Oh.
All right, because I have one of each.
Okay, if you want to do a
We'll
DC
be here all
character,
bloody night at this rate.
I've only one more question after this anyway, so
Yeah, I mean,
You wanna
I'll
do
throw the two of them out there, but I'll go something fast.
it's going to be
Go on.
Jedi Superman or Jedi Batman anyway. So
Was it Alan? Does Al want to go first? Or?
Carpet legs.
I just.
No, Pat, no. That's not it.
No, it's
All right,
fine.
I'll go
I
quickly, so
don't
I'll go
care.
quickly.
He's only joking.
Go for it.
The Marvel character I'd pick would be Jean Grey.
Oh, Phoenix.
She's definitely
Yeah,
getting
because
corrupted.
she's
Jean
kind of
Grey as
already kind of
Phoenix.
half and half. She could go either way, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Batman is the one I did pick because Batman already lives in the goddamn darkness. He is the fucking shadows. There ain't nobody corrupting his ass. He'll fucking do what he wants. He'll do what he fucking smile in his face. He probably kills some Jedi as well.
I thought you would have picked the Joker actually.
No, see the Joker, I mean, but just
I
you know,
think, to be honest,
He
when you
can't
look
breathe-
through
he
the
can't
Star
breathe
Wars
in
universe,
space.
there's plenty of the Joker. He's already there.
Is that
Yeah.
okay? Okay, fine.
But the
There's
Batman for
lots
me
of people that I just
in a Star
batshit
Wars universe,
crazy.
like the Batman for me in the Star Wars universe would be weird and really interesting because he's let's be honest, we call it what it is. Bruce fucking Wayne is a sociopath. You know, he's not the full shilling. So imagine having someone that already kind of fights within the dark, but for good.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Rex T says, "Hello, sirs. What are you going talking about? We are talking about Star Wars." Join in the chat. But yeah, go on, Alan. Your shot.
I'm going to be really boring with it, and I think I'm just going to say Iron Man, because I think you imagine Iron Man with an army of Mandalorians using his armor,
Oh fuck.
like fully powered up, using like multiple, I don't know, whatever you'd use to power an arc reactor in the Star Wars universe, but iron powered Mandos would just be fucking immense. And I'd buy all the figures as well, because they're
right. Don't tell us, bro. They'll make them all.
Can you imagine, like literally, you could just have him armor up so many people, and he literally would have his own army. You know, you think as well, he'd probably just rock up and buy Mandalore. Be like, right, let's
He'd be
start
selling
armoring
weapons to
you
the
lot.
Empire and the slide in.
You know, and you know, he'd be the banking clan.
Yeah.
Designing his own Death Star.
But yeah, I just think it would be one of the characters that you think, you know, would fit really well into the universe, because he already is kind of just an armored, you know, he's probably one short of being an armored bounty hunter already.
He is pretty much. I've had just some great ones here in the comments. Ringy says has to be either Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange. Tubbs, Mick Holland goes Tubbs plus Brie Larson equals angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face. Connor says Wolverine as part of the Bad Batch. I like that a lot.
But to be honest, it would make the Bad Batch interesting.
Yeah, because I fucking hated that show.
Oh, garbage.
It's for burn. Boogie Bop, imagine Taskmaster and not the version we got in Black Widow. Can you imagine Taskmaster
I'm going to shut
imitating
that
Darth
down,
Vader?
as much as people don't like that he turned out to be a girl, the actual points when Taskmaster was kicking ass was fucking awesome. And you telling me that when he stands there and goes that and the claws come out isn't one of the coolest things?
The scene where he sends her flying over the bridge was brilliant.
That's what I mean.
Love that.
As the actual Taskmaster, he was cool. Until we got the reveal of who she actually was.
That was the whole
seen it.
Keep covering. That was the whole problem for me with that movie. The reveal. Okay.
To be fair, it's probably my own fault for pushing it off as far as I did. You know, I'm gonna have to watch this fucking movie now.
It's all right, Tubbs. You're not gonna miss anything, mate. Honestly.
It's not. It's in the grand scheme of the film. It's not the biggest thing that you find out.
No.
It's very.
Can I just ask you a question?
It's very Ant-Man 2 in that you watch it and you go, that was decent, and then you never watch it.
Do Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh?
No.
Okay.
He's like, I'm not watching it now.
If Marvel don't make Florence Pugh the next Black Widow, they have missed a trick, because oh my god, she's brilliant.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I love her and everything, man.
When the main character of a movie gets outclassed by one of her understudies.
Why do you always do that thing with your head?
Actually, I was saying this to Brian last week. There's a rumor flying around at the moment now, obviously, because Scarlett is kind of no longer DC bound or Disney bound. That she's been headhunted for Poison Ivy for DC.
No,
that's just what Disney are calling her.
There's only one DC. So there's only one Poison Ivy for me, and that's because of the fucking Harley Quinn show. That's Lake Bell. Make her Poison Ivy, please, and just be done with it. She was perfect.
You like them because they finally scissors.
No. I love the voice.
He got there eventually, guys.
I
absolutely
love the voice. By the way, Damien had a sick suggestion. I'm not sure if you called that one out, by the way.
No, I think I did actually.
Did you?
I did. Sith Magneto, yeah, that's class.
Oh no, I didn't hear him say that one.
Yeah,
that's cool. Actually, Magneto is a really cool shout.
Sith Magneto, holy fuck. Yeah.
To be honest though, you could go with the villains throughout Marvel. There's so many of them that would make very cool. If they weren't in Marvel, would make cool Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
I mean, can you imagine like a Green Goblin in Star Wars? How fucking awesome would that be?
A Sith Green Goblin, like.
Yeah,
Wow.
and like he wouldn't be on just like a glider. He would have just a full-on spaceship.
Okay,
Man.
so
Green, purple, and orange.
last question of the evening. I'm going to make it a bit of a funny one. What's your least favorite character and why, in the best detail possible? I've saved loads of questions for the next time, by the way.
Jar Jar Binks.
Be so funny.
Has Bruno
I'm
frozen?
sorry. There is no reason other than comic relief, which it isn't, for there to be a character like Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars. He brings absolutely nothing to any of the movies that he's in. In fairness, the only decent part he's in is in the Clone Wars. It's one episode which centers around him, and he nearly dies, and I was really excited for him. Oh, I've pissed off Bruno.
No, he got frozen, I think.
But no,
the mere mention of Jar Jar Binks.
I can't stand Jar Jar Binks in any way, shape, or form. I even couldn't bring myself to. I was going to buy the character just to burn it because it's just such a pointless character. And the funny thing is, as the Gungans, and you see the Gungans, obviously they're not the smartest race, which is fine. There's the captain of the guards, and he comes across as being like having this, respect and everything, and like the way that he portrays himself. And then you've got Jar Jar that is just there. You're like,
so are you not down with the whole Jar Jar is actually like behind the whole thing?
Oh, don't be wrong. I think, and I've said this a few times, Jar Jar as a Sith is the only reason for his existence. That's the only thing that makes sense of why he was there, is to fuck shit up. But as a good guy, nah, pointless. Hated him. And I don't use the hate. I don't say hate very often, but I hate Jar Jar Binks.
Tubbs, your most hated character in Star Wars, and why?
My most hated Star Wars character, it's got to be Brie Larson.
She's not in Star Wars. It's only rumors.
Oh,
well,
you never know. On people.
She could have been a stormtrooper in the sequels.
Daniel Craig was, wasn't he?
There was so many.
Oh, Kevin Smith was one. Sure.
There's so many celebrities that have never been revealed as actually being stormtroopers.
Okay, so fucking trying to think.
There he is.
Yeah,
I thought I'd offended you, Bruno. Literally, I started slating Jar Jar Binks.
Characters I hated in Star Wars.
Jar Jar Binks is my favorite.
Oh, do you know that stupid fucking CGI mess that they put into Jedi? In fucking Jabba's temple when they went like full on concert.
Oh, what, the band?
Oh,
God, fucking stupid, man.
The thing with the long, the
big lips.
female thing with the long.
Fucking
I get
ridiculous.
Yeah, not my proudest wank.
Because I actually confused myself there because I was thinking of the sock with the white eyes, but I remembered that was Family Guy.
Oh,
but you know what actually really fucking bothered me fucking massively was Joe. God, what's his fucking name? Fucking Brendan Gleeson's son.
Oh, Hux.
He fucking annoyed me to no end in the new trilogy, man.
Like
He
is in
tried
one of
to
the
be like
funniest
some
scenes in the new trilogy, though. That whole thing in when Poe's trying to get hold of Hux, and he's basically like he's on hold and can't get hold. It's like, this is General Hux. What's going on? What? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
But see, the problem with him, like, is in the first one he was like treated as like Hitler light kind of character, and then he was made a joke of for the rest of it.
No, but see, I think that's why he annoyed me so much, is because in the first one, in the what was the name of those movies again?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. There you go. Fucking hell. But the Force Awakens, like you said, he literally was a really fucking cool bad guy. And then they neutered him so much in the fucking second movie.
Bow to the First Order.
And then the third movie, he was like, I'm really the spy, and he gets fucking killed.
That made no fucking
I'll tell you
sense
what, though,
whatsoever.
Fucking
How
bullshit.
funny was it when he got killed? It's like,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but the worst part is you giggled because it was funny. You didn't give a fuck because his character was just so.
He becomes so
unbalanced.
Again,
such throwaway character.
You could say that
Realistically,
about
though, if you look
pretty
at his
much every
character
in the
is
sequels.
basically like he's basically if you wanted to characterize that entire trilogy in one character, that's that Star Wars trilogy.
But the thing is, how many more of the other characters can you say that they start off with this idea and they start to build to build. Then in Last
fucking Ryan
Jedi,
Johnson.
they're kind of squished into whatever, and then but you get to the Rise of Skywalker, and you can see that JJ's trying to bring them back to where they started, and it's like,
No.
but they're ruined.
He never should have handed over the. He never should have handed over the reins.
No, it was a
This is
smart
a
idea to
question,
have 3 different directors.
Disney allowed it.
But this is a question for you. I know they were going with 3 different directors, which is fucking stupid idea to begin with anyway. But do you think if JJ had stuck around and did the second one, would the third one have turned out better?
Yes.
All 3 of them would have been more coherent, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure whether they would have been any better in the overall story arc and everything else.
I don't think the 3 directors thing was a problem though. You look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Sure.
Every movie is a different director. Every TV show is a different director.
I
Someone at
disagree.
the
I
top
think this
they
one
needed
was.
to
I think this was a
draw.
problem of directors
they
swinging
needed a
their
Kevin
dicks,
Feige
man.
to oversee the whole
Exactly.
thing.
Ryan
To
Johnson.
make it all make sense and be like,
Yeah.
right. So when Johnson came in and started saying, "Oh, actually, I don't want to do this. I want to do this," somebody like Kevin Feige would have been, "Well, no,
Yeah.
because that doesn't make any sense with the rest of the story."
Exactly.
But all
Yeah, you
Disney
need
went
someone
with,
at the
and all
top.
they cared about was making money, and they've realised there was some, this is one of the things that makes it so obvious as to how much of a flop it was. How many Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi figures have we received in the Black Series?
Not a lot.
Like we knew we were in trouble when she came to Luke and he just fucked the saber away. The characteristic of
It
it
just
was
didn't make
so out
sense.
of character, man. It was, oh, this is bad. You know,
And then
this
he's
is
then
bad.
going and drinking the milk from the animals.
Yeah, sucking on some
Oh.
tit and stuff.
on the
Okay.
like- I mean, I actually lost a little bit of respect for Mark Hamill at that point for actually allowing them to film that.
He hated it. though.
He should have turned around and gone, "No, I'm not doing that. Sorry."
So, Bruno, what is
Yep.
your worst character and why?
Oh fuck me.
No.
Please. Please.
Maybe after a few more beers.
Maybe
Oh.
not.
let's do this. So I'm gonna say Snoke. Actually, I know it's like even Jar Jar is better than Snoke. As stupid as Jar Jar was, Snoke was the. It's like every time I think of Snoke, he annoys me more than Jar Jar, because he had the potential to be, for me, something great, something different, but still familiar, and it was just so fucking pointless. So Snoke.
I mean, I agree. He could have been a fantastic fucking third chapter villain boss. You know,
Also,
like doing that whole story.
Yeah.
like just very quickly, like how fucking powerful was he, considering that he's like halfway across the fucking galaxy and he's still like subduing like Kylo Ren with the power, like with the Force. Like what? Like no, that's not happened. Like no, that's like Darth Vader-less level. Well, no, not even Darth Vader. Darth Vader had to be in the same room. Did he?
No.
No, because he did.
No,
Force
because he
choke
choked
that
the guy.
dude. Yeah,
He
exactly.
choked the guy via Skype.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he technically
Via
was
Skype.
still able to see that person.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
you had to see them though.
But you think Snoke, especially like when they had like the communication and stuff between Rey and Kylo, that was all set up, and it ultimately was all set up by Palpatine. But at that point, you believed it was Snoke that was doing it all.
Yeah.
For him to have been so completely neutered by throughout the second movie, to the point that he obviously then gets cut in half. You just sort of think you've built him up to be this huge potential, mastermind of all of this thing. The lead of, he's not Sith, but he's the lead of the darkness. And then
Question for you.
you wipe him out so easily in the second movie. No, it was stupid.
Do you know the way they were running into the Palpatine thing at the end and all that, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Would you think it would have worked better if Snoke was actually Palpatine at the beginning, and in the third movie he just puts the hood on but he stays looking like Snoke and everything else, and that's what he looked like after he fell into the fucking
Palpatine
honestly,
Palpatine should have said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Palpatine should have
What
been
I'm
like,
saying is if they were
goodbye.
going to the Palpatine thing, do you think it would have been better to actually have Snoke be like a
It
clone of him or something?
It should have been Snoke. Snoke should have been his own character. It should have had nothing to do with Palpatine at all. It should have just been Snoke all the way through. And then ultimately, it's whether or not you then get the Kylo back to Ben arc, or whether it's Rey turning to the dark side, whatever. And I actually thought a better story would have been ultimately Rey going the other way. And
I thought that as well.
But here's the thing: Snoke, I thought was going to be Darth Plagueis. Have I ever told you the story about?
That's what I figured.
Have I ever told you the tale about Darth Plagueis? And he's so powerful, he could bring himself back to life.
Yeah,
and I mean, Palpatine killed him.
Smothered him in his sleep or something.
And this is the thing about that new trilogy as well, man. Is it's like you know, like even like fucking like Kylo Ren. I fucking thought Kylo Ren was a fucking class character.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed Rey. I thought Rey was cool. I loved. I mean, I loved Finn in the first one. I hated what they did in the second and third one to him.
Yeah.
It's like the three of them though. Go on.
Think back to Force Awakens, and when there's that scene, he's come out of the ship, he's wearing the mask. There's all of the stormtroopers around him, although they look like ducks, but that's neither here nor there. And he has that whole thing where Poe shoots him, and he just turns and stops it.
Yeah,
stops the bolt dead. Now, you tell me anybody who's a Star Wars fan didn't go, "What the fuck?"
Exactly right, yeah.
Because we've never seen that. You've seen Vader deflect things with his hand.
Yeah.
You've never seen anyone stop a laser blast. And you're thinking, this guy could be amazing. And then you sort of see the thing of he's got Vader's melted helmet. He's listening and he's hearing his grandfather in his ear. You're thinking, this guy's dark. There is some real, there's some real conflict, some real shit going on in his head.
Yeah.
And then he does the whole thing with taking the helmet off and, trying to show off and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, you're just basically another one of those that you've built them up and actually there's no substance to them. And the whole thing I think it's the sequel where he smashes the helmet to pieces and then he glues it back together. It's like, well, why do you keep taking his helmet off? The helmet is part of what makes him believe he's Darth Vader.
What I heard was it was JJ mixed it. He wanted him obviously he wanted him in the helmet for the majority, but he wanted to show there was a real person under it. Apparently Rian Johnson hated the helmet and wanted him to just be the thing. So when they did the third one, JJ's first thing was, we're going to rebuild that helmet.
We're going to put the helmet back together. Which, again, it then makes Kylo Ren look like an idiot because he spent all that time smashing the shit out of his helmet. And you telling me that he couldn't have just got another one made?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing which really pisses me off about the new saga. I actually loved The Force Awakens.
Me too.
I watched it, and
I've seen it hundreds of times.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. It invokes my childhood, right? But
it's a new hope.
Yeah, it is. It is a new hope, and people can go, "Oh, it's basically a new hope." Yeah, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. That formula worked. That formula worked. But here's the thing: when they did the original Star Wars, nobody knew that Darth Vader was going to be Luke's father. Like, that was something that was being written. Fucking hell! Are you telling me that when they came to this and said we're going to do a whole new trilogy, there should have been one person that wrote that whole end-to-end saga and look, you can direct it, you can have your vision, but this is the story. Tough. No, they this is the thing that absolutely drives me mad. If it hadn't been approved for budget, I get it. You don't know if there's going to be a next movie, whatever. But write all three. They should have written all three straight away.
There was too many cooks in the kitchen on that trilogy.
But you look at Infinity War and Endgame.
Yep.
They filmed them back to back because they had the entire story. They knew exactly what they wanted. There were elements of it they obviously had to cut out because of budget and all the rest of it. There were elements they had to cut out because when they did the first draft of both films, they were like 6 hours each. They couldn't have done that. And I hear after the Snyder cut that they now want the ultimate cut of both those films. I'm like, no, we were all good with what we've got. I don't want 12 hours of Avengers. Thank you very much. But how did it get greenlit to do a trilogy that is the same characters, the ultimate story of this to this, but not have an approved plan that no matter who you are and how important you are as a director, it could have been fucking Steven Spielberg for all I care. This is the ultimate story that you have to, this is the ultimate good person. This is the ultimate villain. These are this is the story we're following. This is how you have to get.
Yeah, you give them beats to hit, basically.
Yeah.
Make your own story, but within these
are the parameters.
Kylo Ren has to be your Darth Vader, but ultimately he becomes good at the end of it. Rey is your new Jedi. She is your Luke Skywalker that is going to come through. You have to make the fans love her.
I thought she was going to be the bad person.
Yeah, but halfway through it, I'm like, they're going to find Luke. Right, great. They're looking for Luke. Because I knew Luke, we saw that Mark Hamill was part of Force Awakens. He's there for 30 seconds at the end. I'm all the way through it. It's like when we're waiting for Last Jedi, I'm thinking, is he Sith? Has he been in isolation for so long that he's gone fucking nuts? And he turns out he's just a hobbit or a hobo.
A cranky fucker.
He's just an old man that has no idea what he's doing, and he's living in isolation because fuck it, why not?
Yeah, because I tried to kill someone wherein I wouldn't even kill my.
Like when Force Awakens it ended, right? They had so many fucking threads. Everyone on the internet was talking about it. It was massive. They surely saw that and still decided to go ahead with what they had.
Yeah.
Again, when you look at Force Awakens, the scene where they go into the space jump or whatever, the hopper or whatever it's called, it's like, oh, what about that one? No, that's garbage. We're running over here, and okay, that gets blown up. We've got to go for the garbage, and it's the fucking Falcon. Yeah. We're like, and then,
it's slightly pandering, but done in a good way.
Like, huh? Nah.
So, guys, it is 5 to 12, and we usually do 2 hours, but we've gone a bit over. That's fine. It was expected. There's 4 of us. We all
to be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. Maybe we'll do these once a week, once a month or something. We'll see. But it was really fun. And I must read the comments before we go because I have been neglecting it. So Boogie Bop. No, where are we? Okay, so Ringy said Cyclops sent him to Star Wars. He's the most boring character ever made. And Mick said, no way, Jar Jar is the greatest character in Star Wars history. Taking the piss.
Block him.
You were.
Yeah.
You're banned from future streams.
Damien Ristori, Salacious Crumb. I mean, what the fuck was he or it? He was a monkey lizard. And funny one.
He was one of those things that you cheered when he got blown up.
Boogie Bop says, I love Jar Jar. He's a representation of our childlike innocence and stupidity. He gets so much hate for our generation, but he was never meant to appeal to us.
Bad play.
I still hate him. I did buy the figure of him though. I'm a sucker. Mick said he was so cool. Damien Huck's been flattened by Snoke. Kids were laughing at that, so was I. And Boogie Bop with the comment of the night. Worst character of them all is Kathleen Kennedy. She is the true Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Well played.
Excuse me. Is it mad that I prefer Rogue One by far to another of the 3 and any of the other 3 newer Star Wars films? Yeah, we didn't even mention those.
Rogue One is a brilliant movie.
Yeah,
for me, it goes Empire and actually Rogue One.
Damien says Rogue One and Solo. I felt were awesome films.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to. When we saw Robo Maul at the end, Old Man Maul, I was like, I want more of that.
And I never mentioned my most hated character. It's that fucker from Solo. Fucking what was his name? Vision played him. The guy that plays Vision played him.
Oh,
He did tattoos on his face. He had 2 daggers. Anyway,
yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
whatever his name is,
Paul,
I
Paul
felt
Bettany solo.
yeah, Paul Bettany. That's the way.
Uh,
I felt
Dryden Voss.
Dryden Voss. Yes,
Thank you, Google.
I felt that Darth Maul should have taken his place, especially when I saw Maul at the end. I was like, oh, he was such a weak villain. Why not just have Maul in the whole fucking
But
movie?
wasn't that film badly received or something?
Very.
It's because of the Last Jedi, though.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Solo will become a bit like a lot of other movies that didn't do particularly well at the box office, but become cult
But like,
favorites.
yeah, Solo, like they had that half done, and they went back to the.
I've still not seen it.
It's actually a really enjoyable movie.
Have you not seen it, Tubbs?
It's a
I
good
remember
story.
I turned it on, but Brian will tell you this. I've started a chunk of movies that I've been like too tired to watch. I either fall asleep halfway through them at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I shouldn't be watching movies at 1, 2 in the morning anyway, but but I end up like not going back to it. I'll get back to it eventually. It'll be like Clone Wars.
Tubbs now one day. We'll just watch Solo and Black Widow, and I'll fall down with the fright.
Yeah, I'll text him and say I finally did it.
I hate it.
Yeah, but now you need another one.
Okay.
But yeah, so to everyone in the comments, you've been awesome. At one point, there was 11 people, not 12 actually, in the comments, which is absolutely class. So anyone who hasn't done it already, like the video and subscribe. And thanks to the 3 of you guys for coming on. It was great crack.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, we'll have another one sometime soon as well.
All I'll say is for the next one, Bruno, you've got to grow a beard.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
You fuckers.
Oh, I got these. Watch those gruffs.
It's the one thing I can't grow, you dicks. I can grow man tits, just not a beard.
I will say one thing, boys. 7 weeks I was gone, and I'm fucking happy to be home.
I try to keep the seat warm for you.
You did a fantastic job, my friend.
There's a bit of tea on the seat, but
Well,
it
the
was fine.
table just got bigger, so
Yeah.
No, but what does tonight prove, though? What does tonight prove? Life can kick the shit out of you at times, and real life takes over, right? But what the fuck happens? You stand up straight, slap that bitch in the face, and go, step over. I got to talk some nerd shit with my boys.
But if you keep the subjects things I know about, then I'll be back.
Excellent, yeah.
Next
We
week,
talk about
Pornhub.
all the same kind of shit anyway, so yeah,
All right.
anytime you want to come on, doors
Yeah.
open. And to everybody in the comments, we will see you next week. And make sure to subscribe, comment, do all that lovely stuff. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Send him
Wait,
nudes.
Brian,
Brian.
Wait. Bye-bye. Have a good time.
Bye, have a beautiful time. Yes. Oh my God, yes.
And